Are you podcasting by yourself right now?
Nah, I'm with my boys!
Nice.
Woo! Mountain Dew, sponsor me, I'm begging you.
One day.
Only Code Red, though.
No, you gotta be okay of any flavor.
Mountain Dew is the worst Twitter I've ever seen.
Well, there goes your
horrendous.
sponsorship.
Well, so it's like, so Ben was talking once about their Reddit, which is like they worship whatever new flavor comes out. Their Twitter is worse.
Pure savages.
But everyone does it, though.
Oh, for sure. The Twitter's
Human
even worse.
sacrifice for Bob.
Yeah, dude, the Twitter's so worse because like they'll show you bottles of like a Mountain Dew, and it's like, okay, so here's a level of like the top, and like, oh, this is really good Mountain Dew. The rest of it, oh, I should tweet a Mountain Dew to bring back my favorite flavor. It's like, okay, here's an idea. How about you actually listen to your consumer base and not like passively aggressively tweet about like we don't have the money to bring back your favorite flavor. Pepsi owns you. You guys have money.
Long story short, sponsor the podcast.
I'm trying to think. I think I said that before the reboot. So me not liking Mountain Dew as a company but loving their product is now canon again.
It's very complex and very honest.
I just want to know how they came out with the weirdest flavors of all time for Kickstarts, and it took them like how long to be like, oh, we could make other Baja Blast flavors.
Right? I know,
Like-
it's so funny too. Because it's like, no, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's just like, oh, weird flavors of Kickstart no one will try, or something everybody will love. Yeah, I'm thinking Kickstart. Like, let's stick there.
Yeah, it's like the Mountain Dew Rise. They're like, who put so much money and so much marketing into this? And they're not good.
No, they all
They're absolute garbage.
they suck.
Hang on, I'm in the minority there. I actually like those.
Okay, all right.
No!
Well, then
You're
you don't
picking
belong at
the
this
That's
table.
because
matter.
I am a caffeine addict. I'm a
Okay.
child, and I like it.
Step one is admitting you have a problem.
Welcome back to Just a Podcast. I'm Just a Kyle, and today I am joined by my brother Angel,
Oh, I'm supposed to talk there?
That's when you say words.
and
All right,
Ben
words.
is back
That's me.
for the
I'm
first time.
back.
For the first time in the new canon. Ryan returning for the first time,
It's been 7 months, baby, and I'm back.
and a local legend that we have only mentioned, our good friend Connor.
Here to tell you that right now at Little Caesars, for just $1 more than the low price of a $5.55 hot and ready, you could get an extra most bestest pizza with extra pepperoni and extra cheese. What a deal!
We got that guy.
Make sure to use the YouTube code JustAKyle.
Don't give false advertisement.
Is that illegal to like say you're
No,
sponsored?
I think you're,
like,
you're
well-
just shilling for the sake of...
Well, no,
Yeah.
like if you're actually sponsored to say you're sponsored.
No, like I'm not sponsored, but I say like this episode is sponsored by whatever.
As far as I know,
I think
the
as long as
opposite
you-
is illegal.
I think as long as you specify that you're kidding, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
It's a parody, YouTube.
Well, because like
Use
okay,
common sense, okay?
so let's say you said you were sponsored, and then you came out and you just said something absolutely horrific, then that brand could like sue you for it.
Yeah, for sure. Because
If they come after you, that's
Right.
pretty petty, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But
That said, Wendy's, will you sponsor us?
if you get them on
100%
Twitter,
never
they will
frozen real
reply.
beef.
Connor had a really good joke the other day, or earlier. It was Ryan was saying something like, "Imagine if Ben and I had real beef," and I was like, "Yeah, but it'd be." And Angel said it would be the good beef. I'm like, "Yeah, that Wendy's always never frozen beef."
That's me and Ben.
You guys have the weirdest friendship I've ever seen.
But it's like magic. It's like a married couple.
So,
That wouldn't happen
did you say
any other way.
friendship?
Can you call it a friendship?
This is news to me.
Here's to you, yeah.
Well, so because we talked about this before, but now now we have to reestablish it in the new canon. Their friendship was not rebooted. We met at a summer camp. So Ben and I have known each other for almost 20 years now.
A long time.
But Ben and I met Ryan when we were at summer camp,
In
and I was
sixth
just like,
grade,
Yeah.
I guess.
And just the one thing is like, and I'm gonna have to put this up. Ryan fricks.
That's
This dude fricks.
it is a fact.
Here,
Dude
here.
fricks so hard.
I mean, if it
really
wasn't
does.
apparently a last
dilly.
episode, it must be apparent now.
We have never said it ever on any podcast.
Well, I just assumed.
We figured the world needs to know.
It's fair.
It's important.
Everyone deserves to be warned.
We just put up the picture. Have you seen this man? Alaskan bush person. Answers the name Ryan.
Last seen shirtless and riding a moose through the forest.
Black people would be so proud of me.
We I think we might have told you this, Connor, but the first episode we ever had Ryan on, because
It's a
so we
bit
had
much.
we
It's a good
called
one, though.
Yeah, we called it Alaskan Shrub People.
Yeah.
And the canon was that Ryan is just an Alaskan native.
I might have family up there, but it doesn't make me full-blown native.
Yeah, but you know, whoever, for people who are listening, don't need to know that.
I mean, yeah, totally.
If you're
Eskimos,
listening-
moose. I live amongst Yeah, the polar bears. And
If you're listening, you are Ryan.
Ryan is
it's
actually
true. I will be.
cartoonist.
I'm a narcissist for listening to this back. So
Here's the thing about him and how hard he fricks. Like, I've known Ryan for
Oh,
almost
God,
10 years,
probably.
and you could have just told me last week, like, just, oh yeah, I grew up in Alaska riding meese, and I just would have been like, yeah, that's probably true.
look, I've seen a moose.
I would
in real
not have
life,
questioned
so
it.
Well, you know what's funny about that is I actually told Chris that you are from Alaska.
A lot of family is, but I mean, I've seen a moose. Who can say that? So
Right.
like, that's my cred.
Yeah,
That's
so
my street
as far
cred.
as Chris knows, and he'll never watch this, he's a bad friend.
Terrible friend. He's gay.
He's super
And
gay.
that's canon.
That is still canon, yeah. As
miss
far
you,
as he
Chris.
knows, you're just straight up from Alaska.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned how to drive in Alaska.
Well, see, there you go. You're basically from Alaska then.
So
They drive on the other side of the road, right?
It was.
They're not a different country.
Make funny noise! Make funny noise out of language! Funny noise, man!
And that's my friendship has been.
Dance for me, monkey!
you just yelling.
Yes,
at each other.
sir.
Like, the funny thing is like they treat each other like crap when they're together, but as soon as I leave, they probably have like this really nice, deep conversation. Like he's gonna call him or message him later, like, you know, Ben, I just really appreciate you being there for me throughout like these steps in my life.
Ben, why'd you tell him that?
And then Ben would probably be like, all right, what are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Also, why'd you tell him that?
Oh gosh. I just usually respond with a good old fashioned.
Yeah.
Ryan says like he's nice, like, oh hey, we're having lunch later. Ben, like, it's just audio message.
But I know what that means.
Various grunts and screeches.
Everyone is unique in its own way.
I have picked up a little bit of Alaskan.
They actually use Ben's noises for a soundboard for Halo dance.
No, let's be real. Alaskans don't exist. Their license plates are yellow. It can't be real.
Wow. My people are going to come after you now.
So
Ah!
Ryan, I've actually been wanting to ask this for a long time. I've heard that Alaska is like, so they know, a lot of people are like, oh, it's this beautiful place, but I've heard the air quality is really terrible sometimes.
Maybe depending on where you are.
I've
I don't
heard it's
know.
like certain months out of the year the air quality is really bad,
I mean,
and I don't remember why.
pipeline? I'm not sure.
Everyone's
Fairbanks
smoking
is
weed up
great.
there.
Was it because of, go ahead.
Well, like either pipeline or maybe like the further east you go in Alaska,
East,
you're close
yeah.
to like the main parts of Canada there, and probably I don't know geography too
I
well.
feel like
so I could be
North
completely
Alaska
wrong
is
here.
not that way. It's just not populated enough in Fairbanks.
Yeah,
Like I'm not saying I'm dumb, but I'm definitely not smart, so I could be totally off on this.
Look, in the wintertime, it's too dark anyway. It doesn't matter.
yeah, okay.
I mean, it's like 24 hours of darkness. In the summer,
Well, the
it's
fact
like
that it's like right next to Hawaii, probably.
aloha.
Imagine going through life for a certain amount of time thinking that because you've never seen a map of the world up until like.
Or when you do, it just doesn't mention Alaska. You just think it's part of Canada.
Now, when you say world, it sounds like you're talking about the round Earth theory. But as we all
Oh,
know at
no.
this table,
Oh,
that is
no.
complete bollocks.
Are we making flat Earth new canon?
I mean,
I'm fine
I thought it
with
was
that.
new.
all canon.
It's complete canon.
Isn't it like just always canon?
I subscribe to Donut Earth. Have you guys not played Halo?
Fair.
I believe that. Connor has the big brain.
Chris was saying that he really was like, oh no, Donut Earth. I said, no, Chris. And I actually drew up a diagram of, and I think, I'll pull it up if I could find it. But I basically said like, no, Earth is like the Asgard from the Marvel movies, where there's this hollow area called the Eldritch Zone. And that's where, and at the bottom is a solarium of superheated crystals that shoot up through the Earth's crust, which creates magma and volcanoes. And in the middle is a magical area that you can access with the right tools. He's just like, well, no.
Donut.
Something about,
Me like donut.
yeah, something about how he was just
And then he
like,
said something gay.
yeah, like something about like, no, I need crystals to stimulate my whatever. And I was like, no, Chris, we believe in the power of healing crystals. I wear a turquoise wristband to help with my depression. I know there's a lot of chairs tipped over. It's because I get so tilted at the towers.
Oh, Chris.
Taurus Earth.
Subscribe to the Patreon for more medical advice.
Yeah, for real.
And
I
Wave's
used
balls.
to be. I
I need
mean,
to actually start a Patreon now just for the small stuff, just to see if anyone.
I
actually-
dropped out of medical school, so I can give you like the basics.
Okay, dude, I dropped out of international relations. I could be an ambassador right now, and it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm legally like certified to talk to you about the hollow Earth.
I have a bachelor's in hentai consumption.
Nice, dude.
That's wow.
I don't need a degree for that.
And here I thought I was getting one in
You wasted your money,
psychology.
man.
Yeah, what a fool I was. I should not have gone for psychology. I
Never.
should have just gone for Ben.
I call it cultured anime.
No.
I don't. Yep.
It's taught me
okay.
everything I need to know.
About
Life.
just
Tentacles.
What do you mean? That's exactly how to interact with women. You just walk up and say, "Oh, hello, it's Stephanie Chan," and then she's yours forever.
It is pretty easy.
Mountain Dew ain't coming back now.
What do you mean? Mountain Dew loves hentai.
And
art.
I'll pay you $500 if Mountain Dew can sponsor this video now.
This is gonna be like the one episode that my family watches, and they're like, "You know, Kyle,
You're gonna blame it on me anyway.
No, are you kidding? I'm just gonna blame Chris."
Yeah, I can't believe
Deal.
Who
How
was
dare
that?
you, Chris? How dare you?
Chris, why would you bring up hentai at a time like this?
Yeah, Chris. Jeez,
Really
Absolute
immature,
imbecile.
Chris.
Full disclosure, I've never met Chris.
you have not. That's hilarious.
I don't think
No,
I know
because
Is that
I
a
don't.
thing?
No, he wasn't at
You know
the
what?
wedding.
Yeah, that's true.
Chris,
Chris.
if you're listening
Well,
to
he
this right
hasn't,
now, call Connor.
Yeah.
Do you
Chris,
have
just
my
call
number?
Connor.
Five,
Do
five,
it.
five.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Do it now.
8675309.
8675309.
Whose phone number is 555?
Has anybody ever tried to call that?
Yeah, I've done it. So
Should I try right now?
It depends on your
No.
area code. Or sorry, depending on where you are, you'll get like that local version of the number. So sometimes it's just like, oh, your call cannot.
It's
be
Alaska's
dialed.
911.
It's way more
Nice.
steps than it needs to be.
It
how we
used to
roll.
be something, right?
Yeah, they eventually made it just like a call center, or it was like information desk. And at one point it was like, you have reached, and then it was a guy just like monotonously singing the tune of the number. And then it says they're not available, and the line's been disconnected. I'm like, okay, this is weird.
Doesn't stop me from trying.
Right. That's hilarious.
What's the other one? You could call. I think you could call Vault-Tec at one point from Fallout.
Oh, that's
really?
funny.
Did you really?
Wasn't that
and-
just a promotional thing?
Yeah, well,
they did that on purpose.
Yeah, it's now discontinued. But
Well, yeah.
you got like the Vault-Tec guy from Fallout 4 who was just like, "Thank you for calling Vault-Tec. Blah 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 blah. Our lists are full, but please."
Yeah, I
try
bought a
it."
vault for me
Wow.
and Ben. Live in.
to do epic battle for all eternity.
Well, for as long as we survive, which will be probably like 4 hours.
I was gonna say 2, so that's pretty good.
That's generous, man. You ever fought somebody like you're tired after 10 seconds?
Oh, yeah. I imagine we're just going to like fall over within the first 10 seconds. And
The
then,
first strike is they just like miss each other and they're like, "No."
And then we're gonna crack our heads on something. And it's over.
and it'll take us about 4 hours to bleed out and then die.
It starts with rage and just
Connor will be there watching it all happen. But
Absolute
I'm going to
wheezing.
try to take some whatever can
shoutcast it like
stick
an
in the blood.
esports. Unbelievable gameplay here from Ryan, pushing the B objective.
always
Oh,
there
he's
for
going
me.
mid. Wow, he's really building those stacks. What do you think his KDA is, Jeffrey? Well, I wouldn't know, Dean.
That's a true friend. He would watch me die and commentate my death.
Classified.
I can count on you in any situation. Thank you.
Speaking of rage and KOs, we've recently been playing a tabletop Zelda game, which I mentioned in a previous episode.
Ben doesn't play though.
Yeah, he's an
is
honorable
now.
guest character, but now he's taking over one of the NPCs for me, which is super helpful because God knows I can only keep up so much.
I'm Tad.
Tad's a homie.
Tad's pretty rad.
The reason that
Yeah,
reminded-
Ted's a bro.
the reason that reminded me of that is one, I did like a little mock tabletop thing with my dad once because my dad was like, I don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, well, Father, you don't love me then. And so I just played this little impromptu, like, okay, Father, roll to see if this works. And he goes, all right, well, I want to be a barbarian named Big Papa. So I have a character sheet in my house. I got to find you guys. It's called. It's just my father's character sheet called Big Papa the Barbarian.
Did he draw himself?
No, he didn't. It was just like a piece of paper, I think.
What an absolute loser. If you don't draw your own character, you're a loser.
What did you draw your own character, Ben?
Well, no, I made the sheet for him.
Yeah, so Ben's an absolute
Handicap.
loser. Also, so is Chris.
Tad, more like bad.
After he beat a boss and he leveled up one, so he unlocked the ability to rage, which is a classic barbarian power. So, like in traditional Dungeons and Dragons, barbarians can rage, which is where they get different effects based on what you do. But like Ben, what do you get like boosted attack, right?
You gain an extra +2, at least at the current level I am at, +2 to, additional damage, and then all basic attacks that are slashing, piercing, anything with like a weapon or something, blunt attacks, are all damage is reduced, so cut in half.
Oh, okay.
And then you gain other effects for raging based off the class over time.
I like that.
I once had a bar fight with Ben's character, and it was not a fun time because he was raging the whole time.
Well,
Yeah.
he has like raging slots, didn't he? Because like it works
yeah.
like spell slots.
Yeah, you get depending on your level. I think I have like 5 or 6 per day
That's a
long
lot.
rest now.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't, like, they don't go away until you don't get hit or you don't hit something.
Yeah, you have to take damage between turns, or it goes away after like 10 minutes,
Oh, okay.
which
yeah.
is like,
Which is longer than most combat.
yeah.
Right.
Ben, do me a favor. Go ahead and roll for pregnancy.
Oh, excellent, yes.
Eat.
That is a natural 20. Ben is not pregnant.
Yeah. all right.
Here, we can go ahead and use the tray. if
Oh,
you
box
want
of
to.
doom.
Yeah.
But it's more
Always,
loud
box,
when we
always
do.
box of doom.
Yeah, but
That's fine.
Well, the Felds compensate.
Ryan, I think
Am I
you're up.
rolling?
Yeah, roll for
Yeah.
pregnancy.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
It's on the floor.
dude, that's my yeet dice.
Okay, it'll be fine. If I need to hold your hand, it's okay.
Well, while Ben's getting that.
Thank you, Ben.
Cool, that was fast.
I'm gonna roll.
Pregnancy?
That's a 13.
Yeah, that's a
Nice.
13.
We're good.
Roll for pregnancy real quick. That is
No, 12.
All right, I will. I'm up. That is a 8.
Heavy.
All right, nice.
Roll for pregnancy.
Thank you very much. We'll get this right up next to the mic. Get those nice ASMR gains. That is a 9.
Okay.
All right, none of us are pregnant today.
Good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So, in the converse side of that is in Final Fantasy, they have a rage ability that's very similar. It's called Berserk, and when you use it in one of the old games, I think they've since patched it out now because it was kind of you could really exploit it. You burned off every other status effect, and you could only do physical attacks that were like doubled or tripled for a few turns. I used like a mixture of both, where I gave my father one where I think I changed it to Bloodlust, where you lose half your stamina but gain all your health back, and you do
That's what I do.
and you do triple damage for go on.
Yeah, that's what my character does.
Yeah, but when you said rage for whatever reason, it made me think about when I played a tabletop game with my father.
Yeah,
I wish I was there. I don't have a dad.
Sus.
I feel like you've said this before in a previous pod.
Yo guys,
Well,
great
that was
stuff.
the
He
old
doesn't have a
canon.
dad.
I
I'm
had
not
to
gonna
make it.
lie. I think Angel vented.
Yeah, he did. For real, I saw him in
I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, if we catch him again, we're gonna.
we'll vote him out, for sure.
Yep.
Is Among Us even like relevant anymore?
I
You
work.
know what? How about we recorded this when Among Us was extremely relevant.
Yeah, man. It's
I work with kids, and kids still like it. So there you go. My students still really like it.
All right, then it probably is then.
I hate
For
children.
now. Well. They like Among Us and Minecraft.
Still.
As of right now.
You know, I'm glad that Minecraft has transcended generations.
It is.
That makes me really happy.
Yep.
Bad game.
And then there's
It's
Ben.
Minecraft.
Oh, blocky, and actually I like it.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't like it.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
No, I was running a realm recently where basically it was like kind of like an SMP server, but I would go into creative to put in things in the game for the other people in the realm, like clue scrolls and like boss fights and dungeons and stuff to beat, and I had a ton of fun with it. Like we recently restarted that realm and haven't put anything crazy into it yet. I'm just getting the house started, but I have a ton of fun doing stuff like that because you just kind of get to let the creative out.
I like that.
I think my favorite thing is just building houses in various different shapes. I once put a bunch of TNT down, and whatever shape it blew up in the hole or in the ground, I built a house with that footprint, which was a ton of fun. It was a really cool, like, creative exercise.
Yeah, that's interesting. That would be really.
It was hard.
Yeah, I would have a hard time with that.
It was hard.
I would have to make everything symmetrical.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that when you use random elements like TNT.
Yeah.
It was fun though, and it was a really good way to like challenge myself.
I've noticed I always build farms and cliffs. So like rice fields, how they're tiered.
Yeah.
I always build farms like that whenever I start a Minecraft world. It works out because you can basically make a stairway that goes down the middle,
Oh, okay.
and then you could just kind of go get what you need.
It looks really nice, but it is slightly inconvenient.
It is, but thankfully I usually wall off. When I play survival, I usually wall off where I live, and then I don't need to worry about like hiding from stuff. But I could see why people would find that super inconvenient.
Yeah. My usual thing I default to is I usually end up building some kind of tower with a water elevator. It's like it's every time I end up building a house, I'm like, oh, this would be cool, and I build it. I'm like, I feel like I've built this before, because I have.
I do have a theme I tend to stick to. Like I do kind of go very like desert element, where I have a lot of like sandstone, and then I use a lot of tinted or like black stained glass.
Yeah.
I actually built the old. There's a building we have in the town we live in where there was a big wall that's glass, and I always wanted that to be my office building. Which in the documentary we will talk a little bit about that. So that just stay tuned. But I built that in Minecraft, and then I have the Sims 4, which has a building element, and I built a version of that as well. And I was just trying to see like what's the most accurate way I can do it to where like, okay, would I want this? Do I like the real building, or do I like it in this version better? So it's been interesting trying to go through the different iterations of that. Yeah.
Bad game.
Have you guys ever tried The Sims 4?
No,
The Sims 4.
I played Sims
No.
once. I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was 4. But I was that person that would just try to break the game in like a million different ways. So I'd like invite people to my house
Well,
and
that's
then
fun,
remove
too.
the door or stuff like that.
Like trap them in there.
Right.
That's funny.
And then there was actually one time I kind of messed up with it. So I did that and then I lit the house on fire to see how they would react.
Oh, that's normal.
Well.
I think they actually made that an achievement in one of the games.
Did they really?
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, what was it called? No, I don't remember.
Arson.
That's the achievement.
Sims 4, awarding murder.
I made a character in The Sims 4, but I never actually got to play.
Well, because like, I remember you were telling me you don't really like The Sims 4 because you kind of don't play it.
I'm not
Yeah,
interested.
yeah. So I didn't know that you can turn up or down how much they take into account your advice.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like you tell them, hey, go sit on that park bench over there. And half the time they're like, I don't want to sit on that park bench over there. I want to go order a hot dog.
Yeah, they do. They've added that now.
Is that a new thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So I could probably play 4 then.
Not for me.
But also all those expansions
So
that I
you
want,
pay
it's like $1,000.
I own most of them. I'm not gonna lie.
Insane.
Well, they have a big bundle that they've been doing for years now, where it's
so
like you
crazy
get
though.
you basically get 3 for the price of like 1.5. So say, well, it is super expensive because it's EA, but
EA bad.
yeah,
Yeah, that's very good, Ben. Yeah, bad.
Like, hey, we heard you have a wallet.
I keep getting bundles because they keep adding stuff that I really want. So like I finally got the one where you can have pets. And so now I have one guy. I have 2 separate worlds I play on. One where I have a bunch of different characters, and one where it's just this one. It's a completely unaltered world. It's this guy living in a house with a puppy. I'm like, yeah, it's staying this way forever. But yeah, no, it's been a ton of fun. Like you can make robots. You can have aliens. They added a thing. It's like a mixture of like old sci-fi movies with a little bit of Stranger Things thrown in. And there's these plants that like people walk around like all smiley all the time because they're exposed to it. And then they turn into like plant sims, or they grow plant sims. It's hilarious. It's like it's just so quirky.
Yeah.
And just watching it all unfold, and it's very much its own thing. So it's always fun to do that. And also, I would love to, and that'll be. This is a whole nother tangent which we can come back to. But there is a guy who makes mods, or he makes a mod for like for 0 AD, which is a medieval RTS game.
Yeah.
And he uses it, and it's the Legend of Zelda themed. And he has these like specific. Just wait. He has these models that he's recently updated it, but I've always wanted to get Source Filmmaker and use like my Sims as the models, and try and make like either Overwatch style or just medieval battle videos like that using these models, and it would have been a ton of fun. But yeah, the whole Zelda thing, that's a whole other subject we can get into in a little bit. But
Oh yeah.
I hate that guy.
That Zelda guy with his green tunic and magic sword. Wait a minute.
I hate the
Ben
mod
would say
creator.
Link bad.
No, Link good. Zelda bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Samus is a cool dude.
Nintendo fans are just punching the air right now.
right,
But you can't punch me.
I'll get into
You
it.
can't punch me.
I'll do it for you guys.
I'll get into that a little
Don't
bit.
punch Ben.
This guy, he's been really upset with the way the Legend of Zelda has been handled the past like 15 years. So I think like everything after Twilight Princess, he's just hated.
Really?
Yeah. So
Why? It's
which
been
is
so good.
That's
yeah,
silly.
but like if you say that to him, it's just no.
It's probably because he's like British or something.
Yeah, he's one of those Europeans.
Europeans.
No,
I'm curious what his specific like complaints are.
So
like,
he's brought it up a couple times, and it's just like it's basically lore stuff. So when Skyward Sword came out, he was just really mad about how they handled the lore of like okay, who is like Hylia and why? Wait, so like is Zelda Hylia? But like also has like Nehru's powers. It was just like a whole thing he was upset about, and I'm sure like I know like Connor, you would have an explanation for it because you know the lore.
yeah.
But apparently, like he that's an interesting. Like, I'd actually like to see you two talk about this if I ever had the chance to do
We
that.
would probably have conflicting opinions because I really like how they've answered a lot of lore questions to make them make sense.
Yeah, for him, he's one of those ones where it's like, okay, we asked for a timeline. I don't like the timeline. You're one of those people that's like, oh, we asked for a timeline. Yeah, I'm happy with how they've handled it.
Right.
My thing was like, I don't think we needed one, but we have one, so cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't care one way or another. Like if I don't want to buy it, I won't buy it. But he's very much like he's calmed down a lot over the past couple of years. But he would make these videos like tirades about how he was unhappy with how it was handled and the lore doesn't make sense. So he started making this mod, which there's a little more history to it than that, but it was
Bad.
He went on. It was originally Total War, which was Ben. You've played those, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's an RTS game where you control medieval units. He did it and he remodeled them into Zelda characters, and that he eventually ported over to another game because the game only had so many slots for different factions, so he couldn't add anything else. So they went to this new engine, and that's besides the point. Basically, his lore is it's more grounded in history, so it's like really gory and really just like really like politically charged. Sorry, that is not the right way to describe it. He doesn't have an agenda. It's just there's a lot of like the Star Wars prequels. There's a lot of politics.
His argument is like, well, the Hyrule that we've been getting, or the games that we've been getting, are geared towards kids, and this is how it really would be. Like there is wars, there is murder, there is corruptness.
Yeah,
and it's like, bro, they're for kids.
Yeah, the problem with that is that the Zelda universe is not trying to be some ultra realistic medieval gory thing. No, it's a fantasy world.
It's like there's a talking tree that you go in his mouth and fight a giant spider.
There are quirky elements
exactly.
of fantastic magical things,
Yeah.
and in that you have this battle between good and evil happening.
Yeah. Also, half the time Link's a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
He's literally a child in most of the timelines.
Like suspend your disbelief, man.
Yeah.
Counterpoint. What if Link and Zelda were brother and sister?
You know, they look like brother and sister in Breath of the Wild.
I'll believe it.
Straight up.
True Game of Thrones.
oh gosh. Yeah, they
Leave it to
do.
Ben.
That's
Let's go over there.
my
They do
canon.
take that approach to it a lot. Not like the Game of Thrones. Like
Ah.
I know what you're thinking, Ben. No. It is very.
Well, yes, but no.
If I ever get some time, I'll sit down with you guys and we can talk about this more in depth. But basically, the point I was trying to make was he basically just doesn't like the new Zelda series. So I ended up Angel and I. He commented. I showed him an animation he put out. So Angel comments.
It was like a new thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
Oh, this is the guy you guys actually talked to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so
He responded to it.
I didn't talk to the actual creator. I talked to one of his other devs because, and I'll explain that in a second. Angel starts. I show Angel this video because I was just like, Angel likes to laugh at it, but Angel took it a step further and he comments. I thought you. So he hates Breath of the Wild.
Well, here I'll say my comment, right?
Well, I gotta.
Okay. I just want to.
But yeah, you can say your comment
Okay.
by all means.
Yeah.
It's a video that features Paya.
Oh, I thought we weren't even going to talk about the video. Okay.
No, but I'll explain that it has elements from Breath of the Wild.
Got it.
So it has like Paya, who's from Breath of the Wild, and it has the Yiga, which are from Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
And he's gone on record many times saying how
It also
he
has
really-
Sidon, who is definitely from Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
And he's talked extensively about how he doesn't like Breath of the Wild.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Or a lot of their design choices.
yeah, which is like okay, but he's also implemented into his mod changes, which I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, I guess
More power to him. It's his own thing. Whatever.
Yeah, he's got every right to do that. Just
Yeah.
like I have every right to make a tabletop campaign based on Zelda.
Right. There you go.
So Angel then comments on this video. And
Right.
Go ahead.
So I commented, oh, I thought you hated Breath of the Wild. Is this animation purposefully bad to show your distaste for the game?
the guy returns.
Bravo.
The actual guy.
Yeah, the actual guy responds.
Responds, which is funny because like normally it's just like, oh whatever, you're a troll.
Yeah.
He responds, it's not intentionally bad.
Yeah, he goes, I dislike Breath of the Wild, and no, it's not intentionally bad. And I'm like, oh, he took me seriously.
Yeah, and so then
I was joking and straight up calling the animation bad because it didn't look good.
Right.
yeah,
Gotta read
my
the
thing is
room.
like I'm super I always am like super like etiquette based in my YouTube commenting patterns and stuff like that. So like I can't leave negative comments. That's just my own peeve. Because my thing is, it's like I wouldn't want someone leaving a negative comment on my YouTube video. Like, dude, your podcast sucks. Your friends are weebs or whatever. I'd be like, well, that's your opinion. So like,
I am a weeb.
It's also true. I mean, we did talk about
What was your
cultured
degree
anime.
again, Ben?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben, let's talk about how your degree is superior than mine.
oh man, yeah, like I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to go on that, and unfortunately, like, I felt bad because I was holding my brother to the same standard. When the reality is like he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So
Trolls be trolling.
right.
We really do, though.
So yeah, he responds, well, actually, so I forgot we actually
Every
left the
day.
part out. So Angel comments that, and I comment, "This is why Dad left."
That's right.
no.
Responds to me.
Then the guy,
no.
says, "I don't like Breath of the Wild much. The animation is not intentionally bad." Then I comment, "Please don't take it personally. He's just upset that the Yiga stole the Garrows' jobs because he had like a whole faction with the Garrow and junk."
Yeah.
So we went on this whole like Angel and I are just going back and forth. Angel's like, the Garrow are significantly better. Shut up. And I said, well, I never said they aren't, but it's polite to respect that even if the creator isn't fond of the game, he has every right to alter what he wishes. So it's a mixture of like, this is actually us having this conversation, but at the same time, it's in a YouTube forum.
Right.
Yeah, we just decided to
You're
have it
just-
completely publicly.
Yeah, and so
And that's one of the poor
was
boys'
so
emotions.
funny.
do you want to say what you said, or do you want me to just go through it?
Oh, like right after?
Yeah. Well,
Um,
would it be easier if I...
I mean, honestly, we have a lot of comments. It'd be better just to paraphrase.
Yeah, I'll paraphrase. So basically, we just talk a little bit. So Angel will come back with like something silly, like, "Oh yeah, well at least the Yiga aren't, or like at least the Garrow aren't losers." And then I come back with like this. I kept taking like the intellectual angle, where I'm like, "Oh well, actually." So I said, like, here, I'll just read some of my.
That's a lot. I'm looking at your phone.
Yeah,
That
there's a lot.
There-
Why did he continue?
This part's
It was
funny.
so
So
funny.
he made a video where there's a cutscene where it says,
Oh
"Okay,
my
I've come
gosh.
to parlay," and so then this one guy says, "There will be no parlay," and just yeets a spear through this monster's mouth.
And there's just poorly rendered blood everywhere. And I hate the video so much, but I think it's so funny. Just
Enough to
because
where
the
we want
pacing,
shirts.
the pacing is awful. Like, it's so bad.
I partially like I mostly blame the rendering engine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I understand Angel's complaints, and so
It's also written.
Angel says,
I'll
Lay
rip
it-
this
lay it
guy a
on.
new one. I don't like what he's doing.
Angel says something
Angel's
that's
developing beef.
like who says the Yeager is still lame in the multiverse, but at the same time, like if they were to meet the Garrow, would there be any parlay? So I come back with, it's definitely possible that a complete and total lack of parlay could lead to a battle of epic proportions. My only concern is that after the Iconian Civil War, would the Garrow, it's just like this whole like.
Yeah.
My brain
I'm
hurts.
talking like in-game lore that this guy has made up. Angel's
Wait,
just kind of
his canon. I
Yeah.
don't know anything about this guy's stuff because I didn't want to look into
He
it
just
further.
kept digging the hole, and he took the
Yeah.
bait every
Oh,
time.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah, so Angel and I are just talking about this back and forth, and then finally, one of the devs just hops in and he goes, "Oh, the Garrow are probably dead and ancient, but nothing ever stays dead, though." We did watch the trailer, because Angel brings up, like,
Oh,
I want
right.
to know what he thinks about the sequel trailer.
Yeah,
and this
the
guy
Breath of
says,
the Wild sequel.
we both watched the trailer, we both thought it sucked. And so,
Wow.
I just answered the guy. I said, I've been wondering about this for a long time. It's my understanding that the inner circle of the devs hate Zelda now, which you have every right to that opinion, but what would make Zelda games appealing to you guys again?
Good
If it happened how
question.
they wanted it, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
right. Yeah,
it's
so-
so weird.
We were
So irritating.
I was gonna talk more about this with the guy, but I ended up just talking about like actual dev stuff. So he just goes like,
just
"Oh,
keeps
I wouldn't say anyone on or close to the dev team hates Zelda. We just find the way it's been handled for the past 15 years somewhat disappointing." I'm like, "Okay." I said, "Well,
Like,
that's my
dude,
mistake."
if you're disappointed in something for 15 years, probably just stop doing it,
I was
right?
gonna say that's not very good.
Yeah,
Hold
probably
on to
just
that.
stop basing your entire career off of it.
Well, and so basically he said, "Hey, if you want to talk more about this, like, here's my Discord." I'm like, "Okay." So
Yeah, now we're gonna give you guys his Discord.
No, I'm leaving that out. So the guy was super amicable. We talked about this for like a good hour and a half.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
from what
Yeah,
I
no.
gathered, he was super polite.
Yeah, I went
He's a
on
nice
Discord
guy.
and I just chatted with this guy and I said, "Hey, So, like, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me about this. And he goes, no, it's fine. Like, stuff like pops up all the time. I'm glad to like finally put a stop to it for once. So his thing is he basically made it sound
Wait, hold on. What do you mean by that?
Shut it down, boy!
That's aggressive.
Yeah.
Is he talking about me there?
No. So what
Crack
happened
the
was,
neck.
Shut down those angels.
it's 'cause- sorry, I left out. I
Shut down the troll.
started out by saying like, I've had a lot of bad experience with like the specific, like the fans of this mod. So I
okay.
apologize
I
that
see.
that I generalized all of you and said that, okay, you guys are all just a bunch of people who hate the new Zelda and hate people who like Zelda.
Who
now.
like and buy Zelda.
Yeah,
Right?
and he goes, no, that's not it. Like, we respect that people like the new Zelda, but we have people on the dev team that even like still buy the new games. And we just talked for a while about. He said, a lot of it just comes from just weird people that jump in and want their own input in the mod, and some of these aren't even devs. Some of these are just people that jump in our Discord and say, okay, we want this, and this. So they get weird people like, we don't want female units in the game. We don't want.
Dude, that's so weird.
Yeah, and then like other people are like, why aren't the wolf people more prominent? And I'm like, I think there was like one wolf enemy years ago, but so it's like a lot of furries and like fan fiction writers. They're like, why is it my idea in your mod? And I said, okay, so it sounds like a lot of issues you guys get are like you have your own share of crap to deal with, and I tried to come at it from an understanding point of. Yeah, even though I don't agree with some of your guys' like creative decisions, I'm glad that it's not like from a place of animosity that you guys respond to us. Because apparently the main creator, he went on like a 7-year tirade when he first started making the first mod in the old engine, and he gets like so heated with stuff going wrong that he made it sound like it just kind of like builds up, and he just gets so fed up with his own fans. That he just doesn't. And, like, I get it. He's human. That's why he gets so intense. Is because he's just so fed up, and he's like, okay, well, I don't care. Like, yeah, I hate Zelda. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, so I kind of understand a little bit more about what this guy's saying. And like a lot of it was me trying to have to draw my own conclusions without, because I didn't want to just like ask all kinds of questions about this lead developer to one of his friends.
It's how he interprets it too. I mean, context is king, and you're just looking at writing.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know the tone
Yeah.
or attitude.
Yeah, that's tough.
Context is king.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I said, hey, is this animation made bad on purpose? It's like, yeah, it totally makes sense why he would think that's completely, like, serious. He doesn't know how I'm saying that. He doesn't know that I laughed my head off after writing that comment.
Yeah, and like at the same time, me responding, he's not hearing like, oh, okay, this is a guy who wants to understand why I think the way I think, not... Or he's probably hearing like, okay, this guy's trying to calm down his friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think basically the takeaway from that was like, it was good just chatting with this guy about, and kind of learning where they're coming from as a place, like it's not so much a place of hate as it is just, they also have their own stuff to deal with, and they just let it boil over sometimes, and sometimes they just don't handle it very well. And then we talked a little bit more about like the actual design choices of the game, and like some small lore stuff. And I don't know, it was a good interaction. It was pretty fun.
There's an interesting dynamic in all of that I noticed. Like you have these devs for this mod that have this creative direction and go forward with it. Then you have these fans that jump in and they're irritated that it's not going the way they want it, and so they're demanding their way.
Mm-hmm.
The funny or ironic thing about that to me is, how did this mod get its start? Well, you have Nintendo devs going with the creative direction with their content, and these guys it's not going their way, so they're like, we'll do it our way.
Oh yeah, it comes off like a huge vicious cycle.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
well, and here's the thing: is that's what got me with that is because it even started. Angel and I would talk a little about. Oh man, I think he has some good ideas, but I wouldn't do that. Or like, oh, I like this part of Zelda, but I wouldn't do that. Hence, like,
it was interesting because like from the very beginning, I could tell Kyle did not like what this guy was doing, and not from like a oh, he's not doing what I want him to do. It's just like we just weren't into it. Like we watched a couple of his animations. We're like, oh, these are kind of rough, and then we're like, oh, that's an interesting design choice.
Yeah.
Like the whole story is narrated by Midna, which is super weird because it just doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm guessing it's just because he wanted to use her voice lines, because when she speaks, it's just a bunch of gibberish.
Yeah.
And so it's a really cheap and easy way to get, voice acted exposition.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess I understand that. but it just kind of rubbed us the wrong way. So from the very beginning, I was like, all right, Kyle doesn't like this. This will be the end of it, right? And then Kyle just kind of like went down the rabbit hole and just watched a bunch of his stuff. Now he knows a ton about the lore, and I would come over, and I'd see Kyle watching more stuff. It's like, oh, okay, Kyle's trying to get himself a good laugh, or maybe it just came on, and I just see him watching it, and I'm like, hey, Kyle, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just watching more stuff. I was like, why? He's like, I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah, it was just intriguing.
I was like, this is so weird, because I saw the first thing, and I was like, I never want to see this again.
It was like morbid curiosity for me. Though.
Yeah. And since I didn't have that same curiosity, I didn't meet Kyle and be like, hey, I'll watch this with you. I was like, Kyle, I'm here now. I don't want to watch this. Can you turn it off?
Yeah,
this is so weird for me.
It created like a small, odd amount of tension between the two of us, and it wasn't like we didn't fight about it.
We weren't mad at each other or anything. It was just like, okay, maybe I'll text Kyle and ask him, hey, what are you doing right now? Before I just come over. Like, hey, I'm playing Animal Crossing. Oh, okay, I'll be right over. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm just watching some more Zelda stuff. Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to know. Yeah, it was an interesting time for sure.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just to say, like, I get the interest in seeing their direction. I would have a hard time not being cynical of it and kind of taking the angel route of like laughing at the thing.
It's weird. You want to look at it the way they look at Zelda.
Yeah, we'll have to show you some of the stuff after this because it is a trip.
Yeah, I have the same problem with a lot of Star Wars fans right now with their whole their headcanon needs to be canon approach because there's tons of that.
We didn't like the new trilogy. It's like it happened though, so just live with it.
I didn't like Episode 8. I thought it was terrible. I thought it derailed the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I appreciated Episode 9 because of it, where a lot of people disagree. Like, I'm sure there's going to be people who hear this who disagree, but like...
Yeah, it's me!
Like, for me, 9 fixed a bunch of 8.
Yeah.
They just had to do it really quickly, so if you don't know all the background info, it's like, why is Palpatine here? Why does none of this make sense?
I like J.J. Abrams.
But for me, I know that background info, so it made sense to me.
Yeah.
But you could have split 9 into, like, 3 movies.
Right. It's so weird, because with new movies and stuff like that, they're always switching directors like people change clothes, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. They need, George. It would have helped if either George Lucas didn't leave, or if they just stuck with Abrams. Like if they just didn't switch, it would have helped.
It's like,
or let Dave Filoni take over.
Yeah, or if directors just didn't have as much say in movies, because like when you watch a movie, or when you see a trailer for a movie and you see who's directing it, you're like, oh, that's going to be a good movie if you like the director,
if it's
or rather, if you like movies that have previously come out under that director.
Right.
It's got this whole like director gets all the credit.
Yeah.
Or actors. Director and actors get all the credit. It's like there's a lot more that goes into making a movie. Like the whole credits take about 10 minutes because of how much goes into a movie.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting
Yeah.
just to see how much directors and actors get with that kind of stuff. So like I hated episode 7 and then I liked 8. And then I was okay with 9.
Wow.
So I'm very different in that sense because...
But it's funny, we ended at the same place where we both kind of hit that point of like, okay, 9 is alright. It kind of fixed it. It kind of brought it together. It fixed it.
Yeah.
You do hit that burnout.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I like all of them but don't really hate it?
No, that's totally fine.
You're good at that.
I'm like a weird Star Wars purist here.
You're really good at seeing every
It's
angle
totally
of things.
fine.
Because it's
like episode 1 and 9, I'm fine.
Like we didn't like Monster Hunter, but you're like, no, it was a good movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh no, sorry, not Monster Hunter.
That was bad.
I fell asleep during Monster Hunter and felt like I still wasted my time.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It was a free nap. Well, I know you paid for that.
I
now.
paid for that.
Oh no, he came to our house. We watched it.
I still need money for that nap.
But all that being said, like even though even as much as I disliked 8 compared to the other movies, I still enjoyed the overall narrative because again it came together, they made it work, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So same thing in Zelda, like
it was an ending, right?
yeah, like it's an ending that worked for me, and I appreciated the direction it ended at. Same way with Zelda. There's Zelda games that I like. There's things like oh, why is my hat a talking entity now? Like you know what I mean? But then at the same time, I played that game a ton, and I ended up enjoying it. So,
Exactly. It's like it's so different. It's like when you play a lot of the older games, it's like, oh, where's Ganon? Vati? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
But then you still enjoy it, and you're like, this isn't the normal Zelda story, but it's still good.
Yeah.
So like with Breath of the Wild, I have like 200 and some odd hours in that game, probably more because I have different accounts, right? Actually, probably closer to 400 because my old Switch got broked. Anyway, and I had to replay. But so I played Breath of the Wild a ton, but there's only like 10 different enemy types in that game.
Yeah.
Whereas in all the old Zelda games, there's at least 30 or 40. Like completely different enemies. It's insane. I'm probably over exaggerating, but you know. And then Breath of the Wild, it's like, oh yeah, Bokoblins, Moblins, Lizardfolks, Wizrobes, kind of. They're all the same, but different colors. And then there's the bosses, right? But and Lionels. But it's like there's not much to do, and you don't get items. There's no dungeons, but I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, they went the open world RPG feel of a game.
Yeah, they took this huge leap, and a lot of fans were like, well, actually, I'd say a small handful of fans were like, no, I didn't like this. Most people were like, this is the best Zelda game.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me, because it's so vastly different, and there's so much wrong with it, because it's the first, it's their first in a new era, basically.
Yeah. But that wrong isn't necessarily wrong. It's
It's just new. Yeah.
Right.
So like the shrines, if that's the new way they do stuff, a lot of people view that as wrong. I'm not a huge fan of the shrines. I wish if they bring them back that they were a bit longer, maybe look different, maybe a bit harder. But that's fine. That's not necessarily wrong. Like, yeah, sure, there's no dungeons unless you count the divine beasts, I guess. But it's still fun.
Yeah. I think that mod team just kind of took it as like, so when I've heard them, whenever you see them explain what they're upset about, it is a lot of times like, oh, it's story stuff. It's never, gameplay is rarely a factor in that.
Yeah.
And it's almost, they're almost dismissive of anyone talking about the gameplay.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because they play Zelda purely for the narrative story of it, and I think that was, like I said earlier, like, you know, I don't mind that there's a timeline, but I feel like they did kind of like help and harm themselves with that, because it gave some fans like a lot of closure and a lot of like, oh cool, this is how everything's connected, and then other people it's just like it ruined the entire experience for them now, because they're like, well, you're not adhering to this timeline you put out, and this timeline is law. Like,
Which is really interesting, because they state multiple times it's up to interpretation. Like, this timeline is just because you guys asked for one. It's still up to your imagination completely, which is why I think they made Breath of the Wild so far away from the already established timeline. They're just like, yeah, that's so far in the past, no one remembers it.
Yeah, it's
Like, they're basically doing a soft reboot.
And you hear in like when Zelda is doing the like prayer over Link in that game, like where she like refers to like legends of different timelines, like it's kind of like this merging of like, here's a rough timeline that you wanted, and then here's where we are now.
Yeah, and I think that's super cool. It's like they're trying to get away from the tunic that Link always wears, because they're like, it's really hard to make the hat look cool still. But they also still kept it, because they're like, well, at this point, we can't really get rid of it, right? Yeah. If we slowly phase it out, though, it's not going to feel so abrupt. Just like, I mean, you don't get Link's tunic in Breath of the Wild unless you have amiibos, or if you do every single shrine.
Right.
And so and not a lot of people had a problem with that. I didn't have a problem with that. I don't have any of the amiibos, so I had to do every shrine to get it, and I'm not even a huge fan of the design they chose for it. The shorts are a little short.
One.
Yeah, like the underwear.
Yeah, it's a
the
little
compression shorts
interesting.
The pillowcase shirt.
But it also was supposed to mimic the first Zelda.
Yeah.
Like all those concept arts that they have of like the first Link design handing the Master Sword to Breath of the Wild Link, or Breath of the Wild Link posing on, is it Pinnacle Rock? Yeah, I think overlooking dueling peaks in the same pose that the first Link was.
Yeah,
like those were such cool drawings, just to show like, yeah, guys, we still love what we started, and this is just a continuation of that. But
it's nice that they were able to like somewhat distance themselves from this timeline, so they could make the game they wanted without being held down to the standard of no, this is Zelda and this is how we do it. Because it's not like. No, I was gonna say Mario is a bad example. Yeah. Because it's one of its own thing.
Yeah, and you can tell Zelda always wanted to be open world. I mean, look at Ocarina of Time. They made this vast, albeit empty, landscape that was Hyrule Field. Yeah. And it was like, this is big, this is huge. Like, not a lot of games did that. And then with Majora's Mask, Termina Field, it's pretty big. And then I guess Wind Waker would be after that, right?
Yeah.
Wind Waker had this huge sea that did technically
Had a little
have
more to
loading
it,
zones,
yeah.
but it was procedurally loaded. So like everything's in a set place, but you're going at such a perfect speed that everything is loading in front of you. The game doesn't have to pause, and that was, as far as I know, that was extremely advanced for the time it came out. And then they couldn't really do anything like that again until Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
But you could tell Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword wanted to do that.
Yeah.
They just had to work around with loading zones.
And Breath of the Wild is, in as far as I can remember, the first time they've gone non-linear with the.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Every game has been very from point A to point B with points 1 through 10 in between.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, like you need this item to go here, you need this to go there.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild is very much like you can have that, but
Right.
you could also do it without it.
Which they did so perfectly. Because, look at
What?
Skyrim.
You have to go.
Look at Skyrim. It's like, hey, you have this thing that you need to do, but then there's side quests along the way. And it's like, okay, yeah. And then Breath of the Wild's like, hey, you have this thing that you need to do, which you can just go do right now.
Yeah.
But, you should probably do all these things first. Zelda's like, it's not dire that you come get me. I can hold on. Go regain your strength first. You're not going to beat Ganon with a stick. Although
Challenge accepted.
multiple people have done that.
It's been done.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a couple of YouTubers I watch that just appreciate the Zelda games for what they are and
Yeah.
explore all the theories. And
Yeah.
one of them did that. He was one of the ones that did the beat him with the sticks.
It's so funny.
I think he had to do a couple glitches to get enough sticks there.
Yeah, either enough sticks or you can durability swap.
Oh,
Well, that's
yeah.
Ben
Almost
could do it with his eyes
Yeah,
closed.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I guess doing any glitch to get sticks there is cheatery though.
yeah, exactly.
Ben's a Zelda master, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Ben is the
Obviously.
Zelda master.
My 20 hours in Breath of the Wild.
And that's all you need.
I wasn't even through the first Divine Beast in 20 hours.
Oh, me either. Yeah.
I
I
was exploring.
I'm doing a playthrough of it right now. I'm trying
Yes, you are.
to be a little speedy with it because Breath of the Wild. I don't want to upload 200 hours of me playing through this game. So
I don't have 200 hours for you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have 200 hours to record and edit that. No, thank you.
Yeah, no.
So I'm trying to be kind of speedy. It's kind of working. And I'm on hour 3 and I've just beat the Yiga clan and I'm about to get it. Actually, no, I'm in Von Naboris. So I feel like I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess it'd be 4 hours. I record an hour and a half.
Oh, he trims it down.
So
Yeah.
2, 3, 3.5. I'm at 3.5 hours. No, 4.5.
Yeah.
I'm at 4.5
Numbers.
hours.
I have the same worry coming up on some stuff I want to do. Like, part of me wants to stream or record an Assassin's Creed playthrough, but beginning and end, so starting at 1, because I got Valhalla for my birthday and I've played a bit of, but then I'm like, wouldn't it be cool to play that all the way through? Because there's some I skipped. Then I looked at the amount of games, and then I thought about how much time I spent just in Assassin's Creed 2 the first time I played that, and I'm like, I'm gonna be 40 when I finish it.
It's an investment.
Dedicated to one video
So
game.
part of me is like, okay, maybe since I've already played all these other ones, I'll just try to speed run those as much as possible.
It's crazy how much of an investment it is. But streaming's really useful because you don't have to edit anything,
Right.
and people will just sit there and watch with you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have enough.
People will put it
followers.
on in the background and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Or if it's a game they're interested, they'll tune in and out and watch gameplay.
exactly.
My thing is, I've tried to kind of maybe dip my toes into Let's Playing a little bit as well. So we had originally been doing a Skyrim playthrough on Angel's channel, but his mods were just not working with each other, so we're gonna come at it again.
Another reboot.
What?
Do people ever play Skyrim Vanilla, or does that just not happen
I think
anymore?
I
Oh,
would.
I think we're going to.
I did for a very long time up until
Play it as it should be.
I had just been playing for a long time, and I was like, okay, I've run out of stuff to do. Like, I've
Yeah.
beaten the main quests.
We easily have 1,000 hours in Skyrim together.
Yeah, and that's just vanilla.
That's all.
Okay, I mean, if you don't count the if you count the DLC as vanilla,
That's
yeah.
Gotcha.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Because that's what
we
I
they
just mean no
created.
mods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unmodded Skyrim, nothing like that. I played through that amount of time on vanilla Skyrim. I only started modding it when I was just like, okay, I feel like I've comfortably gotten through the game and I've accomplished everything I wanted to, and then I was like, oh, let me just see what's out there. And so that's led to like now now I don't really have any quest mods just because they're kind of hard to configure sometimes.
Yeah, quest mods are the ones I stay away from too.
Yeah.
I normally do either animation mods or just like quality of life and display stuff.
And that was the issue we ran into with some of those collided with one another.
Yeah, so like I did have a couple of AI fixes just because some things are absolutely brain dead in that game, and it's I'm not an immersion junkie, but you know. Skyrim's a little rough.
It's nice to have some immersion.
Yeah, just a little bit, you know?
My favorite are the clips of like an NPC trying to walk away, but there's a chair in his way, so he's just walking into the chair.
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
like,
it's like sideways and shoots out the window.
yeah, it's like, come on, just do a little bit of pathfinding. It's fine. It's not gonna take you a weekend.
Unless someone really wanted to walk into a wall.
Right.
Like Ben.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
He's
yeah.
doing the Zelda speed run, roll into the wall enough times.
Yeah, you don't know what NPCs are doing.
Ben's life is just a speed run.
I think so.
Watch me.
Kool-Aid
I'm
Man's through the
burn
wall.
fast and hot and bright, but not for very long.
Oh no.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm excited to go forward with the Skyrim thing. I also, oh man, if my computer could run it, I would definitely want to try like the Baldur's Gate early access. But I'm only so powerful.
Yeah, your computer's getting up there in the age, huh?
Yeah, I'll probably like. I want to go.
You gonna old yeller it and take it behind the barn?
No, I'm gonna
Sure.
keep it because I need something to record on. But if I'm lazy, I can take that anywhere. I do eventually want like an actual desktop to where I can do the.
I
the
considered
gaming.
getting a desktop, but it's just I move between houses so often. So like I'm at my house or I'm at Kyle's house. So like I recorded this last episode of Breath of the Wild at Kyle's house, whereas I normally record at my own house.
I'll wake up and he's just in my living room.
Yeah. You're not even at either of those houses right now.
And right now I'm at a completely separate house.
We're at a warehouse in like Upper New York, upstate New York.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like to think that too.
But yeah, so like a desktop just isn't really in the cards right now.
Yeah.
Even though I want one really bad. But my laptop's
they
kind of
get
fun, though.
expensive.
They really do, yeah.
I was looking into one for gaming because there's certain games I want to be able to play on my desktop, and also just for recording. I've noticed like I struggle to record like Call of Duty right now
Yeah.
because the graphics are so high that my even just doing the capture card to my computer, the computer's just like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But it's weird. I recorded Rocket League fine. Well, I guess that's just bright colors though. That's not really high graphics, but
Graphics are alright. It's also just a small game.
that too.
It's
Yeah.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
But then I look at $1,000 to a couple $1,000 depending, and then you're like, oh, I'll just build one. But then you look at what graphics cards are going for now because of
If you can find them.
yeah, crypto miners like
Yeah. It's
still
the
don't know how
desktops
that
are
works.
nice.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. It's like my laptop only has 500 gigabytes on it, and I use that up in a week. So, and especially with recording, because I record, like I said, an hour and a half.
Right.
And I export separately
You just gotta get
video.
You need a separate hard drive.
Yeah, I export video, game audio, and voiceover, all separately because I just need to edit them all differently. I'm a quiet guy, so I need to turn myself up and edit some stuff out because I'm saying some stuff that I can't. No, I'm joking. So I need to like turn myself up, turn the game down, but I can't do that if it's all in one audio thing. So I gotta export separately, and that's just more space on my computer. And the way that I'm editing is I have to keep the original files, and then I have to keep the edit file, and then once I export it, I need to keep all of that until the video's uploaded, then I can delete it all. And it's like, that's a lot of space. If I wanted to record 2 episodes and edit them like either simultaneously or one after the other, I'd have to save all that stuff on my computer, and I just do not have enough room.
You're fine.
So our next topic.
I did want to talk a little bit about.
Is that how we communicate now?
Yeah, it's like I want a drink. Please take a break. We've talked a little bit about.
Not on your head.
That didn't work at all.
No. Gonna hurt yourself, man.
I mean, I successfully crushed the can on my forehead.
Yes,
Man,
Oh,
we just edited out the sound because it was too manly.
no,
Whoa!
you can't
You
backtrack.
did that with your
No.
penis.
Oh,
You should have been here. That was
It was eye-opening.
Yeah, that
Oh,
opened my third eye there.
Well,
Ben, I don't know if I love you or I hate you.
welcome to me and his relationship. You just entered in.
I'm gonna try that too. I'm just gonna stick it right in the hole here. And
Oh, there's blood everywhere.
alrighty, guys, we're going to the hospital.
You mean you are? I'm social distancing
It's
from
like
you.
a hospital podcasting. Hey guys, we're at the beep, beep, beep. Dr. Ransburger to the UUI, please.
I'm just gonna make you walk.
Penis is bleeding.
We have a serious penile bleeding.
Well, you better get a bucket.
Get a bucket
Oh man,
and some
anybody got a
tissues.
1-up?
We'll give you some tissue.
We've that's what I was saying. So we
Transition, please. I beg of you.
Never.
we're going through this Zelda
Good
campaign,
lord.
and then after we're done with that, we're gonna shift gears towards Angel's gonna be running a Monster Hunter themed one.
Dude, don't tell anyone.
Was it a surprise?
No.
Spoilers!
Well, you better not choke on it.
The handler is a very important character.
If you screw it up,
You
we'll
guys
never...
will be able to kill her.
Not if I play as her.
We,
Dude,
I guess
he's
Ben-
broke the system.
And he's already screwed it up. Good job.
after
That's
we're
why Ben's
done-
not invited.
After we're done doing Angel's Monster Hunter campaign, we're going to go to another one of mine, or if one of you guys wants to try running one. What we've talked about.
That would be a lot of fun.
I still like my Pokemon campaign idea. Just get 50 electrodes and self-destruct every time.
We talked
Little
about
terrorist, like.
because Connor's getting into live streaming. We talked about live streaming some of the campaigns we would be
Get a
doing.
real Alaskan in the flesh.
Yeah, man. Roll for Alaska.
Oh yeah, we'd have
And
to
not
have
clap for Alaska, roll for Alaska.
we'd have to have the camera on for that. That'd be fun.
That would be interesting. Just be like, well, it's funny because I was worried because there are so many people out there who stream their tabletop games, but then I realized
But we're the best.
everyone who does that though is either like Pathfinder, Warhammer, or Dungeons and Dragons.
We're
And I
not
was like,
mainstream hipsters.
yeah, and I was like, oh no,
We
made
make
up
our
like
own stuff here.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
made up our own weird,
We're
like,
our own
broken
path.
RPG.
I may be using D&D Beyond for my Monster Hunter campaign, but I ain't using anything else except for the monster character sheets, and I'm only doing that so I can keep track of their health and their attacks.
Well, it's funny in our Zelda tabletop, like, we always joke, like, Kyle made us super accidentally extremely overpowered. Like, because we're like, oh, Connor wanted to be a pirate, and so he's going to have a pirate ship that he can eventually have access to. And it's like, great. Angel wants to be this character who can have this wind magic, and okay, he's that, great. And then we have this other guy with, like, who can just punch a wolf in the face and disintegrate it.
With
Yeah.
my
And
bare
it's like-
fists.
Also, we realize we have this 3-man wrecking crew that can control the wind when we're sailing in our fully armed pirate ship. It's like,
It's gotten even worse too because you guys have recruited so many more people. So now it's like,
We
oh,
have
there's
a guy-
two of us
we-
that can teleport across the world.
right, we have a guy who opens portals bigger than my ship now, so it's like, all right, we're going.
There is no
Yeah.
need to sail anymore.
That's overrated anyway.
And then there's Tad.
And then there's Tad.
Full circle.
He can
here.
swim.
It's a dude bro with a sword.
He's Fish Boy.
He'll get some better powers as he levels up too. Because it's like I
He's
forgot.
higher level than us, so.
Currently,
we also
yeah.
have double his ability.
Oh yeah, he actually just leveled up. I have to give you some abilities. I'll do that later.
Perfect.
Aggressive swimming.
Aggressively
Passive
swim.
aggressively.
You're
Now do the butterfly stroke.
You can now speak Gungan.
What a perfect power. That's all I've required is to speak Gungan.
Just like anytime he has to do like a diplomacy attempt, it's just gonna be like, okay, it's a perfect success.
100%.
It'll be like episode 4 of Star Wars where like anytime Chewbacca just makes a noise, they're just like, oh yes, of course, that makes perfect sense.
Right? Yes. Thank you.
Your input is very valid.
I'm just like I'm thankful that you guys haven't had to meet any royalty, so we haven't had to do like a Skyrim peace council. Because
Those
also
can be
like,
fun though.
they can be, but thankfully like, the world's not at war either.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
No,
not like,
yeah.
hey, we
Okay.
well, and, like,
You
you
really
guys
want
are
to put my character in front of royalty? Nigel Stabsbury, the pirate who stabs first and asks questions never.
He's gonna
That's
get
the other
killed.
thing, and that's like I know that like for people who have seen my old podcast, it sounds like a shot at like an old campaign I was in. It's not. It's 100%. You
Oh,
guys
it's
are
very
also
different.
too powerful to need an army.
Yeah, who said I need an army? I got
Yeah,
my
it's
bare
like-
fist.
That's true.
It's one of those things where it's
Ryan
Ben.
took out an army with one punch.
it's one of those
right.
where like say a king like summons you guys and like we need help and we're wondering if you'd fight alongside our army. Oh, we took care of them.
We'll just push him
Yeah.
over and take his
My
money.
enemy's already dead. They don't exist.
I'll take his
got
crown.
them. We got them here.
We noticed that on the way here, and we decided we'd just take care of it real quick.
They're like, oh, Well,
The dragon is burning our kingdom. You mean was?
We
In
get
fact,
results.
it's our kingdom now.
yeah.
Turn around. Oh, is this the dragon? And you're just wearing a cloak made out of its hide.
Princess Zelda. Never heard of her. This is my castle.
Regicide.
And that's how we roll.
The only way
Literally.
to roll.
Ganon who sounds like a beta.
Such beta energy.
Oh no.
Ganon Smorf? That sounds like a guy I killed last week.
I remember I
In your
met
sleep.
I met a green skinned man with red hair. He's dead now, but
Very odd looking.
I killed him in one turn.
in one turn.
There's some kid in a green dress running around with an annoying fairy. You just stabbed him.
What a freak.
Yeah, we kill children here.
No affiliation to my job.
nothing is off limits.
I work with children, but there's a separation.
Ryan kills children.
Okay.
For legal reasons, this is a tabletop simulation.
Yeah, for legal reasons.
Oh man, yeah, it's been a super fun ride though, and it's a ton of fun to play with you guys, and I wouldn't want to play with another group.
Here, here.
I've been having a blast. It's my first time doing anything D&D-esque, and it's funny that my first ever campaign is like breaking all the rules of traditional D&D.
Yeah,
but it's also inspired by, like, I love Zelda and always have, so it's like just this hodgepodge of amazing things happening.
I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it because it's worked out in a weird way for me too. Because it was just like, oh, I've always wanted to get into tabletop gaming, and I didn't realize like, okay, now I'm running this. It's just like I could make all the rules. The world is at my head.
Dude, I think it would be fun to do like one
Flex
where
his
we're
fingers.
like D&D, was it version 5? Is it what it's on now? So like one that like where we do that and strictly adhere to like how that game is played,
That would
and
be
then
so
do one
interesting.
and then do one alongside it where we're like what we're doing now. We're just like shirking all the rules and then compare them and like how they.
Oh,
how the
man.
It's like a
campaigns go.
case study. You
That would
just
be,
said
like,
we should do a
tough.
case study.
We'll have to take a weekend and do
Because
that.
wait, that's literally what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's true because you and Ben both played an actual like
Yeah.
5e campaign.
So Ben actually does this for in real life.
Yeah, that's why I'm like every
It's
time
weird.
It's my full-time job.
Every time I ask him to hang out, I'm like super nervous because I'm like, oh, we're gonna play Zelda today, and he's like, that's fine, I don't care. Sounds like fun. I'm
It's
sad.
the wild, wild west. So
I'm a tad.
you say you're nervous, but then he's Tad, so you shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, you guys have handled pretty much everything I've thrown at you very well.
My favorite was the first NPC he played. He's just the guy in the boat. Just wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Oh, they killed the dragon.
It's a C minus
Can I go
effort.
home?
Here's a really good perspective for it. My character has an ability that after 3 successful hits, the fourth hit does triple damage. I've never gotten to use it.
Well, yeah, because like so.
It's usually dead by the time we get
Yeah.
there.
Because I just punch it
The
once.
farthest I've gotten is turn 2.
Yeah, I don't let
Like
you
I
go
said,
far.
we became accidentally super
We're
overpowered.
incredibly overpowered.
You guys just chose really good races, and on top of that, like you have really good abilities.
Yeah.
Which
the
a lot of
superior.
people would say seems unbalanced and unfun. No, it's a lot of fun. Turns, like, combat still takes upwards of an hour for us. But
Part of that's also me finding music and then playing it to go with our battle.
Well, that's
ambience.
true.
And also that we have 5 NPCs on the ship that are also turns.
Yeah, turn order is huge. Like, there's a lot going on.
It's
And,
worse.
and based on their personalities, their turns might be completely useless. Like,
Exactly.
Tad just does a gainer off the back of the boat because he's having a good
Yeah,
time.
because why not?
Raymond's playing cards inside the deck. He's like, I don't feel like fighting.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to fight. I gave you your gunpowder. Leave me alone.
Basically waiting in line in the DMV. That's what that is.
And I'm like frantically loading cannons, like, oh, this is gonna be a tough fight. And then here
Yeah.
comes Fonzie with the Falcon Punch.
I just gotta punch you once.
He's like, I have an idea. Lifts up hand, glows. Oh, hey, why is half the continent gone?
I'm a simple man with a simple fist.
I have another character who's a healer, and he never gets to heal anyone because no one takes damage.
Yeah.
He-
Part of that is we get those one-time blessings where they just do ridiculous things, like that taking out half a continent. Is we were fighting a horde, but it was a blessing that does a one-hit kill, and so because it's a horde, it took out the whole thing.
It's one enemy that you basically just chip away at, and Ryan goes, "Hey, I'm going to use this." I'm like, "Okay,
Yep.
man," and he reels back, and all of a sudden we just hear like, "What?"
Yeah, I don't hold back around here.
No, it was
Like,
good though. It was so
We
worth
get
it.
business done. No time for talk, more action.
I think the next time I have you guys on, I want to like kind of talk more about that campaign and just kind of go through like what's happened and how just like what
That'd
I've
be
thrown at you.
therapeutic.
It's like what I've thrown at you guys and like how you've responded. Because like, there's just like, so you guys have your characters that you play, and you make all these decisions. Here I am, actually just watching all of it unfold, and I have to react accordingly.
That has to be terrifying.
It's fun though. It's like I would do it all over again.
I'd love to talk to some 5e sticklers. No, sorry, 3.5 sticklers.
Because I'm just a toddler in
Just
this world. I don't know anything
Yeah,
about
I just want to
anyone.
know what they'd have to say about how Kyle's running this.
And I want to sit in
I
on
don't.
that conversation as somebody who's never played
Yeah,
strict rules
me and
D&D.
Connor have never
This
done
is
that.
my again first ever campaign.
We're
I am
newbies.
fresh boots on the ground.
Yeah.
We're babies.
I'll tell you what 3.5 is like.
Actually, yeah.
Ben-
Ben is
played
our
for a long
expert,
time.
and
Oh,
we
yeah.
are the
I played
toddlers.
hear about
3.5 for a couple of years.
Wait, I'm sorry. Just real fast. Do we want to get some refills first?
I'm okay.
I could use some water personally.
Stay hydrated,
Here's some
man.
refills, man.
All right, guys,
And we are
welcome to
back.
Just a podcast.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, this isn't a new one.
No, it's the same one. Oh, whatever.
For a reboot. Now they're all just like.
Sponsored by Depends.
No,
Wait,
they're all
how
just
did you get from Mountain Dew Depends? That doesn't sound...
It's a new episode, Ryan. We're always sponsored by someone
You
else.
drink
False.
enough Mountain Dew, you're gonna need Depends.
Yeah.
You guys are doing something wrong.
Listen, I just know how to hold my Dr. Pepper, all right? Also sponsored by Dr. Pepper.
Tell me, what are the 20 free flavors?
Oh, okay. I actually know a lot of these.
Oh, wait, I wasn't ready for
No
that.
way.
Yeah.
Asparagus, Salisbury steak,
Hey,
pepperoni and cheese hot pockets,
don't knock this up.
Totino's pizza rolls,
Maybe.
the blood of the innocent, the blood of the wicked,
Stay away from my work.
A lot of blood.
dog's fur, eagle feathers. How many am I at?
So it makes it American.
you're the
when
one
it's
who's been
equal
And then the
counting.
feathers.
entirety of the Brady Bunch.
I'll give you
There you
a beef.
Okay, so it's caramel, cherry, not ginseng, sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla?
Yeah, it actually does not contain pepper. It has
Interesting.
That is false advertisement. I need
Vanilla.
doctors and peppers.
They're really,
Doctors are one of the
are
flavors.
they actually listed there?
No, they're not.
Okay.
I mean, it has to smell like hospital.
I used to know a bunch of them. We actually looked them up once. What are the 23
Oh,
flavors?
yeah.
I mean, if you go to hospital, you need to have
There's
that.
cherry flavors in there.
Well, yeah, because it's funny because there's cherry Dr. Pepper, but like Dr. Pepper has cherry in it.
I think
There's
vanilla as well.
Yeah, there was cherry, vanilla, caramel,
Sarsaparilla.
sarsaparilla. It's a root. I don't remember what it was though, because it's not ginseng. It's
Beetroot?
Ginger.
ginger. Yes. Well, yeah.
Some
it was- 'cause
complex
it was
flavors.
ginger root, so that's 5.
That sounds overwhelming already.
They had like
20 free.
orange.
Do you guys like red velvet cake?
I do like red velvet.
You know it's red because there's beetroots in it,
Moving
Oh,
on.
really?
Yeah.
This was like strawberries or
right?
cherries or
So did
something.
I, but no, it's beetroots.
Is it really beetroots?
Yeah, it's straight up beetroots.
Are
That's
beets
hilarious.
sweet? I don't know that I've ever eaten a beet other
They-
than like
they
in a
must-
salad,
they
and it
must
was
be.
disguised by my mountain of ranch that I put on
They're,
my
they're,
salad.
That wasn't
they're
a
definitely
salad.
not sweet.
Are
from
they
what I
not?
remember.
It's so interesting because red velvet cake is really sweet.
Speaking of salads, did you know that Caesar dressing is anchovies? Has
What?
anchovies in it?
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Caesar. Oh, yeah,
Which
I
is
knew,
weird
I
because
already
I
knew
hate
that.
anchovies,
Okay,
but I
so-
love Caesar salad.
See, I'm not a Caesar guy.
Ah,
Are you an anchovy guy?
No, I hate fish.
Ah, there
There's
you go.
very few. I like tilapia. I like cod.
salmon's great.
I can't do salmon. It's the fishiest taste for me.
See,
Alaskan
I've been
salmon's
spoiled
great.
by
I like
like
bluegill.
really good salmon, like places on the coast where you can get it fresh.
Right.
So I've had really fresh salmon, really fresh tuna, like a lot of really fresh fish in those places. So now when I eat anything that's been like frozen, I'm a total snob about it.
Right.
That's how I feel about elk sausage.
Which is funny because I'm the same guy that'll go to Burger King and get 50 chicken nuggets for
Ugh.
like $3.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I'm the same way with like Mexican food because it's like like growing up, with my family. It's very much like, oh no, I'm used to like this is how you cook it. This is how you eat it. Like you make it with like lard. You don't use oil or whatever. And then, but like if I go to certain Mexican restaurants, it's just shredded lettuce in like a taco bowl. Like I don't want this.
Yeah.
The cheese is all one color. That's wrong.
It's the American
But
way.
it's
Right in my life.
But at the same time, I'll go to Taco Bell and be like, yo, let me get 2 chalupas and a Baja Blast freeze.
Because that's American Mexican.
You guys ever notice how YouTubers are always just like when they talk about what they eat, it's always overly healthy, And then
Not
even
all the time.
and then even when they talk about that, at the end they're like, yeah, but it's like so bad for me, and I've been working on trying to quit it.
See, I don't know. Maybe I watch different YouTubers.
I was
The
gonna
ones
say, I don't
the
know.
ones I watch like have no shame whatsoever.
See,
Like
yeah.
that's what I want.
one of the
What
ones I
are you
watched,
watching,
they had a
man?
whole thing where they were talking about the best travel foods, and they settled on Crunchwraps from Taco Bell and McNuggets from McDonald's
Dude,
because
what
they're
the
the
heck?
easiest to eat while you're driving.
And they're
That's
everywhere.
You need to get
And then
with
there's
the
another
program.
YouTuber I watch
How
who's
do you do
I don't know if I'm supposed to say it on the podcast, but he's literally sponsored by DiGiorno.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's
dude.
awesome.
Yeah. You see, me and Connor know how to watch good YouTube. You know
Yeah.
how to watch crap YouTube.
We've talked
See-
about other YouTubers on here before, right?
Oh yeah, a couple times.
Okay, so
I
like,
just
We just roasted a dude on Reddit.
That's
Like,
true.
Why,
We
why are you
did-
upset about?
did we ever say like his name though?
no.
we didn't. See,
I don't
so
think
we're-
we've
it's
said
all
names
good.
of any
It's all
channels
good,
or anything.
man.
But I'll say it right now.
I mean, Ben's not afraid to throw me under the bus, so
And
why
it's not
not?
that I don't like. I said I've talked about it before, and I actually just linked his channel. I was like, hey, you guys go find out for yourselves.
Wait a minute, was this you had brought that up on a podcast one time a long time ago, or is that someone different?
Probably.
Yeah, because I'm okay talking about the ones
I
I
feel like I've heard
like.
this
It's the ones that
before.
I don't like. I would
Yeah,
I would
'cause,
feel
like-
bad about using
Yeah,
their name.
that's the thing is like I feel bad because like
Okay, well, I like the YouTubers I was talking about,
Yeah.
where they eat really healthy, right? So it's like Game Grumps and Super Mega are the two that come to mind.
Okay, I don't watch this.
No,
Well,
well, most people don't.
you gotta remember that they also live in LA where like eating healthy is
Right,
like,
right, right.
the
So
thing to
like,
do down there.
Big thing there.
yeah, so like, I don't watch Markiplier anymore, but when I
Kale
did, same thing.
smoothie.
It's like every time they talk about eating, it's always like, oh yeah, dude, I eat this, but like never, like almost never, because it's just so much sugar. And I'm just like, I don't care, dude.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what you eat and tell me how good it tastes. Like, Game Grumps talked about when they went to, shoot, what was it? You know, I don't remember, but I'll get it wrong, and someone will call me out in the comments, right? So I'll talk
I
about the
will, it's
Cadbury
okay.
cream egg. They talked about the Cadbury cream egg, which is
Those
like
are gross.
it's just an egg of chocolate with,
A little caramel in there.
I think it's caramel in the middle.
No,
right?
no, the cream
Liquid.
eggs. It's like a.
Oh, it's like
It's like a cream,
It is
like
a
a
cream
white
in the
cream.
middle?
Some
Okay.
evil cream.
Yeah.
well, see, because
So-
I eat the caramel ones.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, that
so
might
they
be
were
okay.
talking about how much they love how they taste, right? And then at the end of the conversation, they're like, "Yeah, but I can only do like 2 a year," and that's like, and that I feel awful.
2 a year.
They're
What?
also like almost
I'll eat-
40.
Well, okay, yeah.
I'll eat 2 in a bite.
It's like right.
You like those?
Oh,
I'll eat
delicious.
I think
4
it's
of them in a
weird.
day and be fine.
I don't want the
don't
liquids in
understand.
there.
Yeah.
It's not a health thing. It's just a taste thing. I just
Yeah,
don't
like-
think
That's
it's
true.
I-
If you don't like that cream, then it
I don't like the
Yeah,
cream.
if
You
you
can
don't like
get the
how it
mini eggs
tastes,
that
then
don't
you
have the
don't-
cream, and it's
Yeah,
just the
just
Cadbury
straight
chocolate.
Yeah, see,
So,
those are
okay.
Just give me chocolate.
Here's
Yeah.
the other thing I've heard about
I'm a
that.
basic man.
The other thing I've heard about that though is like when they sell like the Cadbury things you could buy at like the gas station or whatever. I've heard there's an embargo to where they can actually only use Hershey in America. So if you need Cadbury, you have to go to England for it. But I don't know.
Well, that is their thing, right?
Is that actually real?
Yeah,
I
as
don't
far as I
know.
know, America is like they don't have very many chocolate suppliers. So like if you go to different countries, apparently chocolate tastes very different.
Well, I believe that.
And a lot of people when they come to America and eat chocolate, they say it tastes rotten. Like this is awful.
Because is it mostly because it's milk chocolate?
I have
or-
no idea
yeah.
I think you're on
because
something.
I've never had chocolate from another country. My mom has, so I'd have to ask her about it.
I mean, there's all different kinds when you go across.
Yeah.
the pond.
Maybe it depends on the country too, because like
Probably.
my wife's family has hosted foreign exchange students in the past, and like
Mhm.
there's a couple they had that were obsessed with sweets over here. Like
How interesting.
there, like
The
there's one
Hostess
guy who
cupcake.
had like 4 slices of Nutella toast every morning for breakfast when he was here. Like
See,
he was
that's
just
awesome.
like he discovered
Nutella's
Nutella
pretty
and then
great.
Stuff like that is awesome. But then you hear about other people like, oh yeah, every morning I have a salad, and then when I have lunch at work, I have a half salad because don't want to have too many calories in a day.
I had
And then for
5
dinner,
almonds.
I have salad with maybe a light beer. It's like, what the heck,
A
dude?
light beer.
Yeah, just tell me you're eating. Like, if you're gonna talk about eating, be honest. I don't care. I'm not your nutrition supervisor. I'm not your friend. You don't need to prove anything to me.
make
I just,
their Weight Watchers points public.
right? I just want you to laugh sometimes. I don't care that you think, because it makes me feel bad. Because
Right.
like they're always drinking Lacroix, right? Which is
Hey,
like sparkling water.
I love
Lacroix too,
Yeah,
Ryan.
Don't judge.
But
the
I don't
LaCroix.
drink them to be healthy. I drink them because I want something.
Yeah,
bubbly
I
to
drink them
delicious.
because they taste. I drink them because they taste good,
They're
right? But I'll also
amazing.
crack 4 Dr Peppers in a night, like I have today,
I mean, I'm not. Well,
and I don't care.
And then there's
it's horrible for me, but I'm not gonna say that because I don't care how horrible it is for me.
like the YouTubers I was talking about, like KOR Speedy was the one. He talks about talked about McDonald's and he's talked about Chipotle on there, and I'm like, okay, I could get along with this guy.
That's awesome.
And then there's Legion is the one sponsored by DiGiorno, and like I love his stuff. I've watched him for years, so like, yeah, I don't know. I respect that more just because it's like you're not trying to impress me with your diet. Unless it's like if it's a dieting channel, like if that's like their thing, then I get it.
Makes sense.
You can't fight those.
Maybe it just makes me feel like they're talking to me and being like, yeah, you're doing something wrong for drinking soda at all. And I'm like, yeah, but you probably go out with your friends and have I don't know, like a whiskey or something, which is 30 times worse than a soda. I mean, literally just poison. But of course, if you throw it up later, it's fine, I guess.
I don't even know where to start.
It's a dangerous cycle to go down.
I did find
Also, soda's just cheap, so.
I did find the answer to the embargo.
Oh,
so
nice.
as far as I know, only Cadbury is banned from being imported to the United States because Hershey filed a lawsuit alleging that Cadbury copied an already existing Hershey chocolate egg recipe of theirs.
The drama.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that actually is still in effect.
It's like a soap
Someone
opera.
believed that?
Since 2015.
They believed that and
Well,
actually
they
proved
wouldn't
it?
file that suit. Yeah, like
What the heck?
Yeah.
you can prove it if there is public. So if there's public record of Hershey's recipe before the public record of Cadbury's recipe, or maybe not
Yeah.
public.
How
Maybe
dare they
there's-
disgrace
if the record
Hershey.
of Hershey's is before the record of Cadbury's,
Yeah.
then
that
I
makes
guess they could use that as proof. But
That's such garbage.
See,
I just
I'm
want to
like
try
that.
some real Cadbury cream eggs, man.
Yeah, go travel if you want. Take a plane trip.
Man, I don't got money for that.
Chocolate is chocolate. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
like
It's good. Well,
So-
actually, I don't eat a lot of chocolate
I'm
anymore.
really
It's just
not
really
big.
unhealthy for you.
So
Full
it's,
circle.
Go eat your salad in sadness.
right. So
Yeah,
this is the reason
go
that
to salad.
this is the reason the chocolate tastes different is it has a higher fat content than the U.S. make.
Oh.
I'm like, all right, that's interesting.
Dude, I like dark chocolate. Actually.
We just turned into
Fat tastes
like. Wow, are we gonna? Is this educational channel now? We're just gonna teach people about.
No, but it
Dude,
wasn't
we
fun.
haven't said
Cocoa
anything
bags.
real.
Yeah.
At least I don't think
The
so.
chocolate's real to me.
No,
It's
it's
gonna
like
get featured on Food Network, boys.
Martha Stewart's just like,
I
all
just-
right, gentlemen, we have the cast of
Martha
just the
Wait,
podcast
what?
here today.
I mean,
I also don't like when YouTubers get like producers and
I like TV deals and junk.
yeah, and managers and
the
like,
Hollywood lifestyle.
actual filmers and editors and all that. Editors is fine. I get it. If you want to post a video a day, pretty tough to edit that. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
No,
And I edit
editors
videos.
I get because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I
I
just
get
recently
that.
got into it and editing takes forever.
Yeah, editing takes a long
Yeah, it
time. So
does.
getting someone to just like do that is nice. But also, if you upload once a week, that isn't too bad. Like I
Right.
watch someone who uploads once a week and she edits all her own stuff and she's her own camera woman. She does everything herself, and I feel like that's the energy that YouTube started with, because YouTube used to be YouTube broadcast yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's everything is homemade, nothing's professional. This is all just people being people, and
It's homemade until you can turn it.
well,
professional.
yes, and then they started like paying people for it.
Now it's YouTube. Think different. No, I'm joking.
So it just
YouTube, tube you.
Join FaceTime.
He keeps talking like that. We
yeah,
can kick
it
this video
just
off.
I don't know. It just sits wrong with me to when I watch a YouTuber and they talk about like, oh yeah, I was talking with my manager the other day, and I'm like, oh, what are they managing for? Their YouTube channel. They're the manager of their YouTube channel, and to me that just kind of hurts because I'm like, are you kidding me? You guys like. You play video games and you have a manager.
No worries, I'll be your manager. Nothing will go wrong.
Like it kind of sounds like a joke, right?
Yeah, well,
I guess it depends on the level of
It
like what they do.
it
though,
depends
'cause
on the
there-
business. side
There
of
are
things.
some
I
like
guess.
gaming YouTubers who also are in esports and they do
Right,
event
right. So that makes
appearances, and they
sense.
do.
Yeah.
So if
you
your
know,
manager's
if-
booking you for things, maybe.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
basically a celebrity at that point, it makes sense.
It's the
But if you're just
Hollywood way.
sitting on your couch with like either by yourself or with your buddy, and you have a manager and a producer and
If
like
we get
social
a-
media
well-
workers and all that stuff,
Yeah.
like, that just doesn't make sense to me. That's just going too far, I think.
Maybe it's something with the money side of it. Like if you're
Yeah.
putting in enough work to be making that amount of money to pay people to do that,
Or to
maybe
get
you really
that
are that
fame.
busy.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's if you're
yeah.
not monetized and then you have to have like delegating stuff. It's like I don't know.
I mean, if you
don't
are
know.
that big, you need connections.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just weird because
Agents
like
will make you
if
a
you look
connection.
at the biggest YouTuber, PewDiePie,
Who's
right?
that? Oh, okay.
He's got editors.
He has
He's
one,
got
doesn't he?
he has two, I think.
Okay.
He's got a guy who films stuff for him when he does live action stuff. Most of the time, he's got a mounted camera, and then as far as I know, that's it. Like, yeah, he's got a lawyer because you
need one.
You need a lawyer.
You get that big, yeah.
Yeah, when you get that big, you need a lawyer. But like, that's all he's got, and he uploads every day. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
It's like
it's impressive.
you don't need all that. I mean, sure, yeah, I know a lot of people have uploaded multiple times in a day. That's just excessive, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. It also depends. Like I know some YouTubers do the schedule where they have a day with their YouTube buddies where they're playing all these different games and
Yeah.
they're recording all of it.
Yeah.
And then like the next day it's all edited, and then the third day it all gets uploaded. So
Yeah,
then you'll see, 3 uploads went up today, but it's
Yeah.
all stuff that was played a couple days ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Stuff like that makes a ton of sense. Like
Yep.
Kyle and I, it was mostly me, but Kyle and I did for Monster Hunter World. We did the weapon tutorials, and I uploaded half of them one day, and then the other half the next day,
But I think
because I recorded them all like the week before.
we did them all we knocked them out in like 2 hours.
Yeah, and they all went up within 2 days.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, and so that's fine, but I also didn't edit those at all. That was before I started editing.
So you're saying don't watch it because it's garbage.
Yeah, don't watch it. It's pretty bad.
They were literally only for Chris.
Yeah,
I
well,
was gonna say yeah.
they were
so-
straight up just
yeah,
for Chris.
I couldn't even
Like
get
in
through
the
that.
videos, I'm just like, "Hey, Chris, this is what you do."
Freaking Chris.
We'll blame Chris again.
I was gonna do it for Monster Hunter Rise too, but then I just played through the entire game before my capture card came in the mail. So I was like, "Well, oops."
Oops.
And Chris has that game now, so he already knows.
He's
what
already
weapon
picked,
he
already
likes.
picked this weapon. Yeah.
So, yeah, I might do some stuff on that. Probably not though. But Connor, we gotta play some stuff at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Like I said, I've been playing Minecraft a lot lately. Been recording stuff on there.
Yeah.
Did some Rocket League recently after that. Want to stream. Who knows what? Like, I know campaign stuff is really easy to
Sky's the
stream.
limit.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about Halo recently. I have a buddy
Halo,
who
baby.
he hasn't played through all the Halo campagns, but he's played through all the multiplayer. So I'm
That's
like,
the
you
sin.
are
You get into the
missing
campaign,
out.
yeah.
So I might
You slap
do
that one around.
Get lots of Nintendo. There's tons that we could do. The hard part is going to be narrowing it down to like what we actually want to record
Yeah.
consistently,
Yeah.
and not just be a hodgepodge of
Just
Yeah.
set a timer. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, it's like Chris is finally not being gay now.
Whoa. No one was ready for that step. That can't be canon.
So, like, hopefully him and I will start recording a bunch more stuff now. And I've been looking forward to that forever. Like, oh man, when's the last time we recorded something with Chris?
Oh, like 3 years ago.
No, it wasn't that long.
Well, you
We-
kind of
we played.
like
Yeah,
Okay,
barricaded
sorry. In
yourself
person.
trailer.
In person, it was years ago.
Yeah, because he doesn't leave his house.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
oh,
recently we
starting
Yeah.
to wonder if
played.
Chris exists.
Yeah, we played Among Us recently.
We do have an imaginary friend here on the podcast. His name is Chris.
Oh yeah, apparently Among Us got updated where there's like 15-player lobbies now and stuff. And there's
There's a
also
new
all those
map,
mods out
right?
that are out for it.
Mods even? What the heck?
Yeah, so there's mods that add other roles. So there's like a detective role. There's imposters that can turn other people into imposters and stuff like
Dude,
that.
that's
Oh, man.
awesome. That's actually kind of
I
cool.
like seeing like
Sus.
weird games that mod Among Us into them. So it's like, oh man, I could play like Among Us and Halo. Really? Because I'd rather play Halo in Among Us.
Interesting.
My brain hurts. No.
Oh man.
You're running for the emergency button. Master Chief just guns you down.
I was looking at it, it's just like, okay, so like now I'm a Spartan with brown armor and like a headband tied around it. Like,
That sounds like G.I. Joe.
yeah, so it's just like, but like you're also like a little lab technician, but for whatever reason now you've pulled out a Covenant carbine. And you're just like, wait, what are you doing?
Oh, my brain hurts. I don't know.
Double kill.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely want to have.
killing midday.
I definitely want to have Connor and Ryan on to do that Halo the Halo podcast.
We are your
is
Halo
all about.
experts.
Right.
Buckle
Ben,
up,
you-
grab some popcorn, and set 3 hours on your schedule for that one.
At least 3 or
Minimum.
4.
Ben, I don't remember.
I'd be impressed.
Ben, are you a Halo guy? I don't remember.
I've played a lot of it, but I
You
haven't
are
played the
now.
campaign.
So, because
Did you realize that me and Connor are going to hurt you now?
Yeah.
we were having lunch the other day and they were telling me like, oh, we know everything about Halo.
Let me open the holy stories to you.
It's going to be okay,
The beauty of Halo, from Bungie to 343.
I have no excuse to not play them. It's on Game Pass. I need to play it.
The next time I have them on when we do the Halo one, I'll bring you here too. And then the other one I want to do is I want to tell you guys about Common Rider, which is a whole,
Yes.
which is a whole thing I gotta open.
I don't even think I
What is
remember you
Common Rider?
talking about that.
Common Rider
You
is
guys know what Power Rangers is, right?
Oh, wait, you have mentioned that. Okay, yeah. You
So-
put that in the group chat.
it's
Yeah,
like
okay.
Yeah,
that's
that was the
yeah,
whole Power
it's
Ranger
our-
thing.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a sister series to Power
Yeah.
Rangers.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's exclusive, mostly exclusive to Japan.
Yeah, I think we've gotten two iterations of it.
Yeah, I've
You
watched.
guys have access to it, though?
Yeah.
We go on shady websites and watch it. I think there's a legit way to watch it, but
Yeah,
They
that's
only
always
have-
the legit.
They only have like
Yeah.
5 series of it currently, and they're
yeah. Oh, that's the legit way.
Yeah.
They only have like the really old series, and I don't much care for them.
yeah. I think as time goes on, they'll start porting them over more and more.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
But it's good stuff. It's real good stuff. Not to sound like a broken record, but I've been watching through Wizard, and then Kyle recommended I watch through Gaze.
Gaim. Yeah.
Not the Gaze, not Chris.
Can't make it 1 minute without that reference.
Well, it's funny. Gaze is a one. G-E-I-Z, I think.
Guys.
Guys?
Oh, GEIZ. He's a secondary writer in one of the.
Yeah. So that is a thing.
Wait, is Chris going to listen to this?
No.
I doubt it.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
See, what's funny is Chris watches my videos because it's like hanging out with me without hanging out with me.
That's a weird way of looking at it. But
It is
sure.
a weird way of looking at it, but I would also watch his videos even though I hang out with him. Like I watch Kyle's podcasts, except for the ones that I'm on.
That makes 2 of us.
Because I have a thing against listening to my own voice. Editing
I don't
takes
mi- I don't
twice
mind
as
it.
long because I can't do it.
I don't watch my own.
I just
but
can't do it.
I'll probably
After
watch
doing
few
a broadcasting class, I just got used to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was gonna say, actually, for me, it was hearing my voice on an Xbox mic was like awful because it's like grainy and higher pitch.
Oh, yeah.
Once I got my condenser mic, it's an Elgato one, and I don't know, it makes me
That's
sound. I think it's because I compared it to like my Xbox mic voice, but all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I sound sexy.
You know what I should do?
Confidence.
Okay, there exists a video of me playing Minecraft on a parkour server with my friends Chris and Jacob. Yeah, I got those right. Sorry. It is gay
Wow.
Chris.
Same Chris?
Yeah,
Okay.
same Chris, gay Chris. And
Every time.
Gosh, how old? I was in middle school.
Yeah, I remember because you borrowed my computer to do it.
Yep, I borrowed
Sorry.
Kyle's computer and Kyle's Minecraft account because I didn't have my own yet.
Way to freeload.
And it was something else. It's interesting to watch. It's very funny. But because it's not funny.
I mean, the best video you've done was
That's
the
before
first
I knew
Twinkie.
you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I met you when you were a freshman.
That's even
Yep,
before I met
absolutely.
you. That's before I even met
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's some old
There was
stuff.
a time.
So I should compare
I
my
was a
mic.
sophomore when we met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
I should compare my mic from then to now. Maybe I would have.
No, Kyle. I
a
think
lot
you
less
probably knew Kyle
issues.
before you knew me, maybe?
No, I met you guys right around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was when I started going to that youth group. I met both of you there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the rumor come out? Connor and Ryan is friends.
Does Connor and Ben and Ryan friends?
I like to think so.
Common writer Ryan. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. I'll definitely. That one will be after Halo because that's kind of a lot to take in. But
It's definitely interesting.
Halo's
Like,
a lot to take in.
I feel alienated when listening to Halo stuff. You guys would definitely feel.
Yeah, my challenge is going to be to get to a point where you understand.
We
the
will
lore.
teach
I
you.
will absolutely listen to a 3-hour podcast.
We
I
will
have no
teach
problem
you
doing
every-
that.
No, that's my thing. Is
I
like,
have nothing
I
but
will
time.
bring a large
Basic 101.
whiteboard and I will go through
I
major
have
story
books.
points and timelines.
I have strategy books
Actually,
and maps.
I need to buy a camera because
for a whiteboard.
well, no,
Oh.
but it's funny because my grandma she knew I had a YouTube channel, but she never watched it because I was playing Half-Life Alyx at the time, which
hilarious
is
if she
an
was,
M-rated
though.
game, right? So she just wasn't into it. Really gory and too scary for her.
It would also be hard for her to follow VR as well.
That's true. VR is pretty
It
rough
makes
to
me.
watch.
I don't like watching VR. I get
Yeah,
sick.
which I don't blame you. It's tough to be in VR.
I tried that once. I
But-
almost did get sick.
Yeah, but then I started playing Breath of the Wild, and she was like, "Oh, who's this little boy running around?"
Nice.
That is exactly what she said. It's
Zelda,
so funny.
The Legend of Zelda, accessible to all audiences.
Yeah.
When you hit grandma levels, that's great.
So she started watching me play that, and she goes, "It was really fun to watch. I didn't think you'd be talking through the whole thing, so that was really interesting. But I think you should have like a little picture of you in the corner." And I'm like, "Oh, like video of me playing?" And she goes, "Yeah, yeah, yeah."
Oh, that's
I was like,
hilarious.
"Wow, she
knows what face cams
Yeah,
are.
she doesn't watch YouTube at all. She just knew like."
Grandma discovered Twitch before Twitch.
Straight up. So yeah,
have the idea.
I think I'll do a face cam, even though I'm the most like
Got the elderly demographic.
You have the hardest demographic to get.
The golden age, that 55 plus.
I'm like so unenthusiastic about everything. My voice is so monotone. My face matches that monotone.
You could be one of those guys that wears a mask or face paint.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
something
Please
wild.
don't be that person.
I'll just turn into a VTuber.
Cosplay every episode.
That's Chris's thing. Is I wanted to start. That's Anna Orlando started because we were supposed to be a band. But Chris
That didn't end up well. And I'm one of the subscribers, so I don't know which one of you aren't subscribed.
Oh my gosh!
You said,
that's right.
only the 4 band members. No, I'm a subscriber.
So I sing.
Who is that then?
So you're going to have to find who the traitor is.
Whoa!
I did not know this.
Because I'm subscribed.
No,
I'll have to hear it
I
sometime.
even link Anna Orlando on my channel.
I know.
Yeah,
Kyle's.
We didn't make anything.
Are you guys subscribed to Anna Orlando?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
fine.
no, because like technically
No.
because
Okay.
it's under
So
my
so
account,
Kyle's the traitor.
so I can't.
Okay,
I
so you're the
subscribe.
traitor.
Okay. Oh, it is under your same Gmail.
Yeah, so it won't let me.
I don't know you can do that.
So that's why you gotta be like me, make 4 different Gmail accounts.
That's what
Oh no, I think one channel is subscribed to the other. I think it's
Dude, I would make Anna Orlando subscribe to my own channel.
so
I mean,
no,
it's
because
really
there would be
bad.
so many notifications to open up.
Well, you can turn them off.
Basically,
Or
I
just
wanted
never
to.
open that email again.
Yeah,
we,
or
we
just
came
never
up.
open it.
We came up with this. Like we had always been playing with the idea of starting a band, and then.
Oh, yeah, for years.
But the
was
but,
Ben your manager?
no,
So,
Ben.
all right,
Ben
well,
was so.
all right, the roles, right?
It was Ben, Chris, Angel, and I.
Yeah.
But the issue was Chris is a huge thing with anonymity.
Mhm.
Like, but it's weird because he's been on our podcast and he said like, "Yeah, my name is Chris." Blah 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 blah. He's actually given away more information about where we live than we have ever.
Self-docs.
Oh,
No,
So,
he's never
I
said
read
his
that.
last name,
Which is fine.
That's
and-
good.
which is good. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever read.
My YouTube channel used to just be my full name, so my full name's on there. Like if you go on my channel and be like, "Oh, past names," it's just my full name.
Yeah.
So I'm out there.
I'm gonna.
And I
Anybody
mean,
with half a brain for detective work can probably
Yeah,
figure out who
exactly.
we are.
And even
Yeah,
Chris
that's
too.
not hard.
Like if they find out who I am, just go to my channel, figure out my old name, go to Facebook. Why am I telling you guys how to do this?
Don't give my,
My
boss
address
ideas.
is-
yeah.
Yeah.
If you would, would you like
Now,
my
see,
credit
that's the
card
smart
now?
thing with Facebook. I say I live in a different place than I do. I think that's the only thing though.
No one knows.
Yeah.
Because
what
like
I live.
I don't mind being out there. I don't mind even if I do by some miracle get like let's say 1,000 subscribers. I don't mind people knowing my full name or even knowing like my Facebook, right?
Your
Because
innermost deep
I
darkest
have stuff.
secrets.
I have my Facebook set to only friends can view everything, right?
Mhm.
But the real thing is, I just don't want people knowing where I live, because like watching other YouTubers, and they're just like filming something in their house, you know, doing a vlog or whatever, and then you just see people like outside the window, like looking in, like, oh, is this so and so's house? There's someone filming in there. That must be him. It's like that's terrifying.
That's when you hire
Very
me as
creepy.
security, and I just start punching people.
Yeah. So what we're trying to say is, you pull up on Angel, it's kind of run up and get done up. You're going to catch these hands.
Yeah. At any given point, I will take you down
So
because I know how.
basically, when this channel started, it was Chris's whole thing was like, "Oh well, I could adopt this persona," and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And so we bought this helmet for him to wear, but it just got to the point where
You
the funny
said,
thing is
what do you mean helmet? Like,
it
what
was
do we?
it was just like this
Like
face
a-
mask that you can get at any Halloween.
Yeah, it was a
store.
mask with a hood over it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was cool looking, but the
It is
thing
cool
is the way he said it is it wasn't that he values his privacy or anything, is that he just had like really cringy political stuff he put on his Facebook when he was like 13 or 14. And he's like, "Oh, if people know my name, they'll go and find it." And then
Yeah,
like,
and then he'll
and then
be,
we'll
like,
get
canceled.
yeah, he's like, and then we'll get canceled. And I'm like,
You could delete it.
It's like,
Yeah, you could delete it, and if someone really okay, what does that say about the people who go and find it? Because it just shows that they have nothing else better to do.
Yeah,
but
they're looking for it.
But he got like really mad.
Well, it would
delete it,
never.
though.
It would never be seen that way, though.
I was gonna say you could make a
Because like, look at what
private,
happened
you could delete it.
to Game Grumps, right? When everyone found Aaron Hansen's old stuff, on
They have a
4chan,
controversy.
right? Something like that.
Yeah, it was just like
it was a huge problem. He's like, dude, I said this stuff when I was 13. Now I'm 40.
yeah.
Why is this an issue?
And they quickly got over it too.
yeah.
So that's the
it's not a
thing,
big deal. But
I'm very
you
much
know.
of the opinion that cancel culture is a toxic, disgusting mess
Oh,
and just needs
absolutely.
to stop.
It's
And
gross.
people need
Absolutely.
to think adult about things and not
Yeah.
like petulant children.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like if you find a post and it says 14 years ago, you'd be like, okay, dude probably doesn't feel the same way.
Yeah.
Right. And
Just
obviously,
leave this.
I don't mean to like downplay. There are very legitimate things that people should be quote unquote canceled for.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
We've seen in the past couple years there are toxic things
Looking
all
at
over
you,
the
Pro
place.
Jared.
Why did you stare at Ben when you said that?
Doesn't matter if you're a politician, famous person, whatever. There are very horrible things that should not be said.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, you got.
But if you're also drudging up like, oh, he said this when he was 12. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
who
no.
wasn't an idiot when
Yeah.
they were a teenager?
I mean,
Well, actually,
I mean, Ben was a super genius and I was the dumb ape.
I had the IQ of a 455.
Well, it's like
Good
where
times.
for at least for our age, that was like the dawn of social media, and it's just like we're just learning internet etiquette and how to put our thoughts.
Yeah, I'm pretty
out.
sure. Yeah, it
I
was,
think on my Facebook at one point I not even complained. I had this post about like, whoa, they made acts for women. That's weird.
Yeah, like I had stuff like that. I had things like, oh man, like last night I had a dream about I was in a metal album and like Pikachu was playing guitar.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, like just stuff like that. And then I've also had other things like, man, I wish I had a girlfriend.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
wait a second.
Why am I posting this on Facebook when?
My grandma goes on my Facebook.
It's like,
I was like, it's okay.
I don't even use my Facebook anymore. It's
Oh, no, I don't
I just use
I
Messenger,
needed notifications
Twitter.
on it for a
I
long
love
time.
Twitter.
I
but-
use Messenger because I got those dope avatars.
they are pretty fun.
Yeah. The only reason I still have any of it, like even not shut down, is just because there are some people I only communicate with, like through Facebook and stuff like that.
I have relatives I can only get a hold of that way.
I have
Right.
like old pictures that I lost.
Well, I use that,
That I
as
like
part
to
of my
keep on
work as
Facebook.
well.
Yeah, but I've been less and less involved on social media ever since I watched the Social Dilemma this past year.
I've heard.
Oh, yeah.
Very good watch, very
That's
very
fair.
enlightening because it tell you about all the toxic mess and dangers. So
Well,
I've just tried to be more
I
mindful.
mean, no,
of, like,
it's very true.
Yeah, well, it's
my
like,
involvement.
and it also just makes life a little bit easier for you by being mindful of that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, because like I think the
Less
closest,
stress.
The closest thing I have to social media.
Less
is, like-
stress.
Yeah.
Well, I have a Twitter that I only use to like follow like meme accounts,
yeah.
and then at the same time, and I think like a couple food companies. And then,
No.
Don't check out politics on Twitter.
Right. And
That's
then-
where I always get my
my news.
my
Worst part of the
cultured
internet.
anime.
And then I have, it's
Of
it's
course
like
you
yeah,
do.
it's like a couple of food like
Bringing
I
it
think I
full
follow
circle.
like Burger King and
My line.
yeah,
Has to
and
be
then,
Wendy's, right?
and like Hot Pockets and I think probably
Well, Wendy's
Yeah.
is sassy.
I like to
Wendy's
follow.
is
I like to
hilarious.
follow places that post about their food deals. I'm that person.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I
Wendy's
got
creates
coupons. I get my
beef.
coupons.
Sale on nuggets.
I learned about the chicken fries coming back from Twitter. Like, let's be
Oh, I
real.
love chicken fries.
What is-
Also,
come on, people. It's
Yeah,
just
and then I
chicken
have
fries. Like,
Skinny
They're
chicken
so
strips.
good,
No,
though.
Delicious.
But Ryan, they're so good.
it's fine,
Have
but
you had
it's not.
them?
Yes,
they're
but it's
seasoned
not-
very
They
well.
have 37 herbs and spices.
That's going to be a video.
Start
We're
naming
gonna
them
have-
off.
We're going to get
Start
Ryan's
naming
chicken
them off.
fries.
They're the
man.
Dr Pepper of chicken strips.
yeah.
Have you ever and then you dip them in Dr Pepper and it's just a flavor.
No. Dip 'em in
Actually, holy crap! I forgot we used to do that.
I still do
Like
that.
Oh,
we used to
no.
routinely dip chicken fries, breadsticks. I would dip pizza sometimes in my soda.
Well, see, people dip bread and wine. I think it's
Really?
the same concept.
Why would
It's
you
actually not bad.
compare that?
Really? What
Yeah.
the heck?
That's a
Well, it's like communion.
yeah. It's
Well,
like
bread and
convenient.
wine,
I guess that's fair.
that makes sense to me, but
always
not
drink
pizza
grape
and
juice.
soda.
No, but like fresh bread and like glass wine, actually, like a little bit of wine, it's actually not a bad
Oh,
taste.
interesting. I always
That
drink grape
makes
juice,
sense, but not freaking
Similar-
Dr.
similar
Pepper and
profile.
pizza.
all about those Welches.
though.
I'm not putting pepperoni in my pepper or Dr. Pepper. It's just
See,
not.
yeah, when the pepperonis fall off, it's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah,
Dr
that's
Pepper I've
a
never done, but like
Like
Bummer.
chicken fries, you get your soda and you just like dip the chicken fry
False.
in it, take it out, and you
Never
take a
done
bite, and you get the cold, and then you get the hot. It's so good.
never done that.
It's
That's different.
And if they don't have,
I think I'm gonna go eat a
combined-
salad
If they
now.
don't have similar flavorings or spices, that's 60 different. spices.
You're driving me
Quick
to that
maths.
kale salad.
If they each have 23 flavors, dude, you're getting 46 flavors, and that's delicious.
Ain't
So,
no better way.
Maybe I want more.
One interesting thing I have done. So, have you guys ever done fries in milkshakes?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So,
I'm not a
I
monster.
once did a chicken fry dipped in a milkshake.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's,
yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
good.
bad.
definitely.
There's still chicken.
It's the same thing. You get that cold, and then you get the hot
But it's
chicken.
chicken. Chicken is pure. No, you don't need to do that to your chicken.
Chicken is
Well,
the meta of all.
Is it
meat.
chicken?
It is chicken.
Like,
Okay,
I'm,
now
I'm just saying because if you guys saw the news recently, apparently Subway's tuna has no actual tuna.
But I love Subway tuna.
Has me doubting all fast food places now.
I think it's one of those things where it's like,
I don't care what it is. I'll still eat it.
I'm already
Yeah, it
here
tastes
eating
good
fast
already.
food. I don't care what's in it.
No, don't get
Sorry,
me
no,
wrong.
I'm not-
I
I'm
went
not
to
coming
McDonald's yesterday, so
Right.
like
That's
McDonald's
the
sponsor me,
standard.
please. But
Sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like I was coming
yeah,
at you like that.
no. But like, so it has absolutely not impacted my diet whatsoever. I don't care about what I eat, and I probably should, but oh well. Like,
Shouldn't everyone?
YOLO.
At
YOLO.
least I don't.
yeah,
I like being fat.
Team Dad Bod.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
really.
And in silence across the board.
We all got
Just
kind
like,
of
just like
sad
this,
at
yeah,
that,
like
didn't we?
this quiet, like,
How about that? How about that?
everyone just has like a little Goron roll moment. Just, oh man. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast.
It was a process and a thing, and I'm back.
All right. Well,
That was
I
bad.
am super excited for the next one. And,
I am too.
All right. We'll see you guys in the next episode. And I don't actually have an outro for.
Bye.
Bye.